is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network Limited. We broadcast from our studios at 14 Ocean Boulevard in the Digicel Center, downtown Kingston, Jamaica, transmitting on the FM 90 band, 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne, serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on YouTube and Nationwide 90 FM Live too, RevoNews.ai and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock. From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning. A very good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning at Tuesday, March 17, 2026. U.S. President Donald Trump tells Cuban officials to remove Miguel Diaz-Canel from power as the blockade tightens. Statin records inflation rate for February at 3.9%. Opposition leader to deliver budget presentation in Parliament later on this Tuesday. In regional news, U.S. military radar to be removed from Tobago Airport. In international news, Israel reports top Iranian security official killed in strike. In sports, Arnett gives Racing United 4-0 beating on Monday. And in business, Sri Lanka declares Wednesday's holiday to conserve fuel amid Iran war fuel shortage. The details after the break.
This station raised me. It gave me a voice. And if Nationwide has ever meant something to you, come on in. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Multiple media outlets in the U.S. and Britain are reporting that Donald Trump has told Cuban officials that their country's president has to go. It's the most direct statement yet from the U.S. president about his intention to change the regime in the Caribbean nation. More in the report from Siobhan Campbell.
Donald Trump spoke to reporters at the White House on Monday, telling them he expects to have the honor of taking Cuba. His comment came on the same day a U.S.-imposed oil blockade on the island plunged the country into darkness under a total power blackout. Trump's comments about his clear intention to be the U.S. president to forcibly remove Cuba's head of government from office was reported by the New York Times, Reuters, the AFP, along with The Guardian in the United Kingdom. In his exchange with reporters at the White House, Trump claimed that he could do anything I want with Cuba, even as negotiations continue between Washington and Havana about easing the oil blockade. Trump continued, "Whether I free it, take it, think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now." Shortly after he spoke, the New York Times reported that U.S. officials told Cuba to remove President Miguel Diaz-Canel from power during recent talks. Toppling Diaz-Canel from power would eliminate a key figurehead while leaving in place the repressive communist regime which has run Cuba for almost 7 decades. Cuba has traditionally rejected any interference in its internal affairs and has considered any proposals on that front to be a deal breaker for any agreement. The U.S. has sought to intensify pressure on Cuba, its longtime foe, since seizing the Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro in January. Maduro was Cuba's most important foreign benefactor. Since removing Maduro from power in January and joining Israel in attacking Iran, Trump has openly mused that Cuba would be next. Trump cut off Venezuelan oil shipments to Cuba and threatened to put tariffs on any country that sold oil to the nation, strangling its antiquated power grid. Last Friday, the 65-year-old Diaz-Canel, who succeeded Raul Castro as president in 2018, said he expected talks with the United States to happen under the principles of equality and respect for the political systems of both countries, sovereignty and self-determination. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The country's point-to-point inflation rate for February this year was 3.9%. That's according to the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin. What this means is that the price of goods and services in the month of February this year changed by 3.9% when compared to the price of said goods and services in February 2025. The rate was influenced by the price of goods and services in the division's food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, and personal care, social protection, and miscellaneous goods and services. Meanwhile, the inflation rate for the month of February declined by 0.9%. For the division food and non-alcoholic beverages, there was a 2.5% decline. This movement was due primarily to an 11.3% fall in the group, which includes vegetables, tubers, plantains, and cooking bananas. These decreases were attributable to the decline in the prices of some agricultural produce, including cabbage, carrot, cucumber, sweet pepper, and tomato, due to increased supply in the local market. The movement was moderated by a 0.2% increase in the group housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, and the transport divisions. Managing Director of Strategic Alignment Limited, Robert Winter, says opposition leader Mark Golding must take a statesman-like approach to his contribution to the budget debate when he speaks in Gordon House on Tuesday. Winter says it would not benefit the opposition leader to be combative with his words.
First and foremost, I think the opposition leader should give credit where credit is due and acknowledge the reduction in murders as one of the major achievements we have had for some time. Secondly, I don't think he should go into the details, but look at a broader perspective of what his opposition spokesman said. How do we address the fundamental growth challenges we have had for a long time? Two, how do we really go about transforming the public sector to get to extract value? Because quite a bit of the $1.4 trillion goes into public sector salaries. And how do we extract value, particularly for those increases that were given to the politicians and the senior public officers?
Golding will deliver his remarks at around 2 p.m. in the House of Representatives. The presentation will be carried live and in full by Nationwide 90 FM. President of the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises MSME Alliance, Antoinette Hamilton, wants the opposition leader to tell the country how he would handle issues such as accountability in government.
I'm also looking forward to just a deeper dive into some of the other social ills of the country in terms of the level of accountability in public governance. How is it that he proposes the government treat with that in light of the several Auditor General's reports and their findings? And also in terms of export and renewable energy, what is his direction for that, especially given what is happening in other areas of the world?
Antoinette Hamilton, president of the MSME Alliance, said they were speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. Meanwhile, political commentator Jermaine Barrett says a change in the budget format would liven the debate and offer more value to the listening public.
It shouldn't be that you have the governing side, the Prime Minister and the opposition and the Finance Minister going back to back to conclude the budget debate, because it doesn't give a kind of response that is helpful for the democracy and for the electorate to really form a solid opinion, right? We need that, and you see, it gives an advantage to the governing team. So yes, I would certainly recommend that we go the Finance Minister first, then you have the Minister on the Shadow Minister, then you have maybe the Prime Minister and so forth. Alternated is what I'm saying.
Jermaine Barrett, a political commentator. Under the current format, the debate is opened by the Minister of Finance, who's followed by the opposition spokesman on finance, then the opposition leader, and the Prime Minister then follows before the Finance Minister returns to close the debate. Prospective candidate for the post of Colonel of the Accompong Maroons, Caden Wallace, is rejecting claims that he's not qualified to run. The designated security minister in Accompong, Tamika Taylor, told our news center the fact that Wallace lives overseas makes him ineligible for nomination. But according to Wallace, that rule, which he says was crafted by incumbent Accompong Colonel Richard Curry, is not Maroon law. Mahiri Stewart has that story.
According to the 2004 Maroon Constitution, aspirants for the office of Colonel must be resident in Accompong for at least 3 years prior to the election and must be a Maroon citizen by birth. Taylor told Nationwide News that this means Wallace's proposed bid to become chief is invalid.
Well, Caden doesn't qualify to run in the election, so he won't be nominated. He is from there, but he's not living there. He's living overseas. No, not based on our constitution. Our constitution clearly states that persons who are running the election must be living in the state for at least 3 years. The 2004 constitution was put aside. It was not ratified when Chief Curry was running for the election 5 years ago. The then political ombudsman indicated that the person who won the election should ratify the constitution in the first 100 days, and that is what happened.
Wallace struck down these claims when our news center called him for a reaction to Taylor's words. He says the rules cited by Taylor and crafted by Maroon Chief Richard Curry were never officially ratified.
He dismissed the constitution which he come and find, which was signed into law by a justice of the peace, the legal body that signs documents that are recognized in Jamaica. He went ahead and write his own constitution, and when it was brought to light, he changed and calling it ratification, and him and some people that he gathered signed that document which he want to impose into law, overriding the legal authority of the country.
Wallace says he's willing to speak with Curry in order to discuss how to properly ratify the rules.
Jamaica law supersedes every other law in this country. Doesn't matter what rules we might come up with in Accompong, the laws of Jamaica supersedes all those laws. So it is just another waste of his idea that he's trying to impose on people, calling it a constitution. It will not be recognized by any of us. And in future, we can look at it and go through the right process and make it into law, signed by the legal body of Jamaica.
Wallace's rejection of the rules proposed by Curry represents another disagreement between the two where Maroon law is concerned. An election for a new colonel became due in the St. Elizabeth Maroon village on February 18. In February, Wallace said the position of Maroon chief became vacant on that day. Curry responded to Wallace, declaring that he still held the position as well as the power to call the next Maroon election. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Members of the Rwanda Defense Force, RDF, have left Jamaica after completing a 2-month humanitarian mission to assist with recovery efforts following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. The contingent of military engineers returned to Rwanda on Sunday after helping to rehabilitate infrastructure damaged by the powerful storm which struck the island in October last year. In a post on X, the Rwanda Defense Force said the team was deployed under a bilateral cooperation agreement between Rwanda and Jamaica aimed at supporting the recovery of critical infrastructure destroyed by natural disasters. During the deployment, the engineers worked closely with the Jamaica Defense Force JDF and local authorities to repair residential houses and schools. The JDF also expressed gratitude to the Rwanda contingent, noting that the soldiers assisted residents in the western parishes of Trelawney and St. James, whose homes were damaged by the storm. In a statement on X, the JDF described the Rwandan soldiers as brothers and sisters who worked assiduously to help rebuild communities. The JDF noted that the Rwandan engineers helped restore hope to affected families. Historian Wayne Chen says Jamaica will recover from the ongoing tension with neighboring Cuba caused by the discontinuation of the Cuban medical program earlier this month. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday.
We will be back. We have had worse breaks in the past. Those who recall the 70s, and I lived through the 70s, we had the issue of Ulysses Estrada, the Cuban ambassador and DJI, and self-proclaimed DJI colonel, interfering in Jamaican politics very directly. He was part of a march against the Gvina. There was the Moonex affair. There was the affair of George Flash and Tony Brown finding two of Jamaica's most wanted men finding refuge in Cuba. There are many, many more egregious things that have happened. And here we are today. What I'm saying is that Cuba is our close neighbor. The Cuban and Jamaican people have long shared a mutual affection and a common history and intertwined history. We will bounce back.
Wayne Chen, historian. On March 5, the Honest administration announced the termination of its 50-year medical cooperation program with Cuba. This, it says, was a result of neither governments being able to agree on the terms and conditions of a new technical cooperation arrangement. In response, Cuba's embassy in Jamaica accused the government of bowing to U.S. pressure on the issue. It subsequently emerged that the Cuban medical and teaching professionals who've been working in Jamaica over the decades have been working under conditions of servitude. A document revealed by Nationwide News, prepared based on testimony from a Cuban teacher and two doctors, claimed the salaries they and their colleagues worked were paid to the Cuban government. The opposition PNP has joined the Cuban embassy in criticizing the government's decision, but political commentator Kevin O'Brien Chang disagrees.
You go tell any Jamaican there, you can go work somewhere, but the government is going to take 90% of the money. They would never accept that. And I can never understand these people who we enjoy, luckily, democratic rights. The workers have rights. And they think it's good enough for Jamaica, but it's not good enough for the Cubans. That logic never ceases to amaze me. We can use our influence to try to get the rights for the Cuban people that we Jamaicans proudly enjoy. That is where our goal should be. Which sane person would choose to be friends with Cuba at the consequence of being an enemy of the United States? America has done far, far more for Jamaica than Cuba ever has.
Kevin O'Brien Chang, a political commentator, he was also speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. The Realtors Association of Jamaica, RAJ, is warning the public to be vigilant following a sophisticated property scam involving stolen real estate signage. In a statement issued on Monday, the RAJ says official for sale signs belonging to a licensed realtor were stolen from a property in Stony Hill, St. Andrew. The signs were later transported to Portland, where they were altered with a fraudulent phone number and then placed on another property. According to the RAJ, the scam was uncovered after an observant citizen who was familiar with the legitimate agent noticed that the contact information on the sign had been changed and reported the discrepancy. The RAJ says scammers are increasingly using the reputation of licensed real estate professionals to deceive unsuspecting buyers. It's urging members of the public to verify that agents are registered with the Real Estate Board of Jamaica before engaging in any property transaction. It's also advising prospective buyers to cross-check property listings with the official website of the brokerage, avoid paying cash deposits before proper verification, and conduct business in the realtor's physical office. The RAJ notes that realtors are generally paid after a transaction is successfully completed and should not request upfront cash payments. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:18.
The regional and international news roundup is brought to you by Hanes Underwear. Cool, comfortable clothing all day long.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, a United States military radar system installed at the A&R Robinson International Airport in Crown Point, Tobago, has been dismantled and is due to be removed from the island shortly. Sources report that a U.S. military aircraft is expected to transport the system from the island. The ground or air task oriented radar, which reportedly cost about $3 million per day to operate, was installed in November 2025. At the time, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Bissessar said it would assist local law enforcement in combating drug trafficking and monitoring suspicious activity, particularly in routes linked to Venezuela. U.S. troops stationed on the island are also due to depart in coming days. Their deployment had been part of a broader security cooperation between the United States and Port of Spain. International Israel's defense minister said on Tuesday that its military had killed Iran's security chief Ali Larijani in a strike. Larijani was last seen in public at a Quds Day march in Tehran on Friday. Iran has not confirmed whether he has been killed or injured. The Israeli military also announced it had killed the head of the Revolutionary Guard's all-volunteer besieged force. Meanwhile, Gulf Arab nations have come under renewed missile and drone fire from Iran on Tuesday, which has been targeting regional oil infrastructure and vowed not to relinquish its stranglehold on the strategic Strait of Hormuz. Drones and rockets have been launched at the U.S. Embassy in Iraq's capital, Baghdad, in the second such attack of the war. And the United Arab Emirates has reopened its airspace after missile and drone threats from Iran forced it to close briefly. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
The regional and international news roundup was brought to you by Hanes Underwear. Cool, comfortable clothing all day long.
CFOs and senior decision makers across the Caribbean, this is your moment. The Caribbean CFO Summit goes live March 24 and 25, 2026. 2 days, 13 CPD accredited hours, one powerful virtual gathering of the region's leading finance minds. This is where strategy meets innovation, where restructuring meets execution, where finance leaders prepare for what the next decade demands. Registration closes March 24. Do not sit this one out. Secure your seat now at CaribbeanCFOSummit.com.
To the women who give to everyone else, this International Women's Day, gain the future you deserve with Sagicor. Get protection with Sagicor Life's Total Woman Critical Illness Insurance. 10% off and a gift from Advantage General Ultimate Woman Auto Insurance. Special mortgage and auto loan rates, plus 7,500 credit card bonus points with Sagicor Bank. Lower trading fees with Sagicor Investments. Call 888-SAGICOR to learn more. Conditions apply.
The Leadership Conference of Choice is back. Transform super managers into superior leaders at the Make Your Mark Middle Managers Leadership Conference, Jamaica Pegasus Hotel and online, May 6 to 7. Sponsored by Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Visual Tech Solutions, Intelligent Multimedia Limited, CIBC Caribbean Bank, and Visual Vibe. Register now for Middle Managers Conference, May 6 to 7 at MakeYourMarkGroup.com. Time Time now for your morning sports football news. Giovanni Taylor scored a stunning first-half hat-trick to steer Arnott Gardens to an impressive 4-0 win over Racing United in the Ray Nephew Jamaica Premier League on Monday at Tony Spalding Complex. Ronaldo Lawrence scored an own goal to complete the scoring for Arnott, who moved 3 places up to 7th in the standings. Despite the loss, Racing remained 3rd in the standings behind Mobay United and Mount Pleasant Academy. The first 4 quarter-finalists in the European Champions League will be known on Tuesday when second leg round of 16 ties are completed. Defending champions PSG will take a 5-2 lead to London against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Manchester City will be at home at the Etihad trying to overturn a 3-0 deficit against Real Madrid. Premier League leaders Arsenal will welcome Bayer Leverkusen to the Emirates with a tie at 1 apiece, and Bodo Glimt will head to Portugal with a 3-0 lead against Sporting Lisbon. Finally, in your morning sports, the local-based members of Jamaica's contingent to the World Indoor Athletics Championships are leaving the island at 9 this morning for Poland. The group will have 29 members, including athletes, coaches, and managers. Manager Brian Smith left the island on Monday. Kishane Thompson, Brian Lavelle, Akeem Blake, Janelle Smith, and Tina Clayton are among those leaving on Tuesday, and they'll be joined by 8 others in Poland. The journey will take the group to Atlanta, then on to Amsterdam, then Poland. Jamaica will be looking to improve on the 2 silver and 2 bronze won at the last World Indoors in Nanjing, China in 2025. And that's it for your morning sports.
Ready to upgrade your drive? Hyundai and Scotiabank are making it easier for you. Right now, you can drive away in a brand new Hyundai with an interest rate as low as 4.99%. Low interest rate, 0 processing fees, and 1 year free insurance with Scotia Protect. Whether it's the compact Hyundai Venue, the bold Palisade, the stylish Tucson, or the dynamic Creta, Hyundai has the perfect vehicle waiting for you. So visit our showrooms at 7 Oxford Road, Kingston, or Providence Drive, Montego Bay, and get behind the wheel of a brand new Hyundai. Hyundai Jamaica. Because of you, conditions apply.
In business this morning, Sri Lanka has declared every Wednesday a holiday for public institutions to conserve fuel as the island nation grapples with possible shortages amid the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran. In an emergency meeting with the senior officials on Monday, the Sri Lankan president said, "We must prepare for the worst, but hope for the best." It's the latest in a series of belt-tightening measures undertaken by Asian countries since the war choked off the Strait of Hormuz, which is used to carry millions of barrels of oil from the Gulf into the region. Nearly 90% of all the oil and gas flowing through the strait last year was bound for Asia, which is the world's largest oil-importing region. Elsewhere in Asia, authorities have resorted to a variety of austerity measures. In Thailand, for example, the government is urging people to swap suits for short-sleeved tees to reduce reliance on air conditioning, while in Myanmar, private vehicles are only allowed to operate on alternate days depending on their license plate numbers. Bangladesh has brought forward Ramadan holidays in universities and introduced planned blackouts across the nation to conserve energy. In the Philippines, some government offices have mandated that staff work from home at least 1 day a week, while the president, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., has banned non-essential travel in the public sector. A Chinese online retailer that is seeking to challenge the likes of Amazon is launching in the UK. JD.com announced its new Joy Buy platform that will run from distribution sites including Luton. The company says technology, home appliances, beauty products, and homewares and groceries will be on sale. The move comes after the £30 billion e-commerce firm pulled out of talks to buy Currys in 2024 and August last year. U.S. and Hong Kong listed JD.com as China's largest retailer by revenue. It said it would offer next-day delivery to about 17 million UK households from its launch. Bosses said the business plans to establish itself in the UK for a long time, and they believe a combination of its product range, value, and convenience would entice new customers. In foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar has lost 7 cents and will open against the benchmark US dollar, selling for an average $158.23. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican has gained $1.84 and will open selling for an average $115.18. And finally, the Jamaican has gained $1.31 and will begin trading for an average $210.63 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Obtain high-quality maps and drone aerial image services through the National Land Agency. The time by the NLA is
6:30.
Interex Distributors Mega Tile Clearance Sale is happening this month. Yes, all tiles must go. Ceramic, porcelain, borders, and inserts at jaw-dropping prices. Create the look you love with premium tiles for less. Hurry to our showroom at 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston. Call 876-501-2516, 876-550-5689. Interex Distributors Tile Clearance. It's now on.
The Jamaica Customs Agency is ready and set to go to Montego Bay, St. James. This Friday, March 24, Customs meets the community. The Town of the Community Tour edition. Join us at our first stop, Witter Village at 9:30 a.m. Then on Barnett Street at Consumers Meets Plus. Catch us at Fairview Town Center beside Progressive Foods. And afterwards, the grand finale is at 3 p.m. in Sam Shop Square. Come, get lots of information and enjoy the entertainment and leave with prizes and giveaways. That's Customs Meets the Community this Friday, March 20 in St. James as Montego Bay comes back alive.
Over a month ago, we invited you to be a part of something special, something different. And you know what? Over 500 of you said, all right, we're in. That means over 500 of you decided to move from just being a listener to being a part of the family. The Nationwide Family Club isn't just an idea anymore. It's real, it's growing, and it feels good.
And because family looks out for family, for the entire month of March, we're doing something extra. Every single week, one family club member will win a $25,000 supermarket voucher. That's 4 winners, 4 weeks, 4 real chances. Because when you stick with us, we believe you should feel it. Loyalty shouldn't just be appreciated, it should feel rewarded.
The Nationwide Family Club is where you, our listeners, come closer. Not just hearing the stories, but seeing how they're made. Not just listening to the voices, but connecting with the people behind them. In the Family Club, you get early access to documentaries, exclusive content on air, member-only conversations, birthday shout-outs, breaking news alerts, and depending on your tier, studio experiences and private live streams. That's not just regular radio, that's family access.
This isn't just a subscription, it's connection, it's community, it's saying, I support what you do, and I want to be closer to it. More content, more interactions, more behind the scenes, and now, more chances to win.
And if you've been watching from the sidelines, we've been saving a seat for you. Join today. Be a part of the first 1,000 family members. And this March, you could be one of 4 people walking away with a $25,000 supermarket voucher. Go to patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. The Nationwide Family Club. Closer than radio, stronger than ever, and growing with you, our family.
say we true. The goodness of your works will carry you through. Do good unto others, and I will do the same for you. Give it a try, my friend, and you will prove what I'm saying is true. Love is the answer. There ain't no other. Oh, love is the answer. True love of the Father. If your neighbor come begging you something, don't say go and come tomorrow. Give it now while you can. And I know, Jah will bless you. Oh, love is the answer. There ain't no other. We must exercise our love by forgiving and helping. We should teach others what they need to learn. Forgive them even when your heart burns. Love, I'm feeling. Love, life's true meaning. Love, I'm feeling. Oh yeah. Love is the answer. There ain't no other. Oh, love is the answer. Oh, Jah, here I am. Answer to our cry. There ain't other. Bless me, mighty Jah, bless me, so that they can curse me. Bless me, mighty Jah, bless me, yeah. Bless me, mighty Jah, bless me, so that they can curse me. Bless me, mighty Jah, bless me. Ooh, I'm in the midst of strangers, oh Lord. Strangers without love and mercy. Strangers without dignity. Strangers who don't want to live in harmony. Bless me, mighty Jah, bless me, so that they can curse me. Bless me, mighty Jah, bless me. Bless me, mighty Jah, bless me, so that they can curse me. Bless me, mighty Jah, bless me, yeah. Father, they have dug their pit and are waiting to see me fall in it. Yes, they've got great power, so without your help, I know I suffer. Let them keep talking. Whoa. Bark if you're barking. Oh yes, let them talk, keep them talking. Hey, we're gonna keep them talking. Laugh when they're talking, yeah. We've got a lot more coming. Talk, keep them talking.
I heard that.
We're gonna keep them talking.
One time mayor,
Laugh when they're talking,
yeah, of several
We've got a lot
cycles past, put on a kind of behavior, talk about permit and all these things. No, but tell him to ask me a Swebe if we don't have a thing.
We have a permit.
We have a thing. So me not understand where you get your misinformation from.
We always have a permit.
Yeah. Like him our chicken noodle news. You understand? Good morning to all the Thomas.
Good morning to you, George Davis. And good morning to our friends there in the YouTube chat. Hello to our friends out in Radioland. If you're joining us this morning from the app or from the website, hello, good morning to you. You know, speaking of music and parties and all of that, sometime after 3 this morning, it's raining. And there's this big boom boom room going somewhere close to
Party
where I
going?
live. Yeah. I'm going to say them people not go home. You know, the unstable weather conditions. So we're getting rain. So it rained in my neck of the woods for much of the night this morning as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the place just a tear down with music coming from somewhere.
Vibes turn up.
You know, and I'm just like, folks, right? You're not going home.
Yeah.
And then when you get to Taboo as well,
Hey.
traffic.
Hey.
Traffic. Now, I was not in Taboo.
Of course you wasn't. I've told you about speeding down. No. I've told you about driving down Constant Spring Road. 5 after 5 in the morning. I have to break up by the time I reach Tile City because the Taboo people they block the road. And they say then at this time of the
You're
morning.
not going home. You're not going home. You don't have
Jerky, I
work.
sell a chop up chicken and
Absolutely.
yeah,
Soup,
man.
man. Absolutely. The morning or nightlife on Constant Spring Road is something else. But yeah, if people are making money, why not?
There you go.
And no harm being done there. However, on my mind this morning, turning my attention to what I'm musing on. So, George and Jermaine, listeners, YouTubers, in the 1980s in Jamaica, the records point to the start of non-invasive cardiac diagnostics, including echocardiography and treadmill testing. And I know you see where I'm going with this.
That's
one,
right.
George.
That's right.
A treadmill test or exercise stress test evaluates how well your heart handles work by monitoring blood pressure, your heart rate, and ECG while you walk on a treadmill. The 1990s, there was interventional cardiology that was performed in Jamaica for the first time. Residency programs in orthopedics, urology, neurosurgery, and cardiothoracic surgery were also implemented during that period. 2005, when I started Hampton.
You started Hampton in 2005. I graduated university in 2005.
But in 2005, the return of trained personnel allowed for the transition from basic to advanced laparoscopic surgery. In 2016, Hospitan performed a medical first in thoracic operation under challenging circumstances in Jamaica. In 2019, Jamaica opened its first specialized cardiac center with over 83 cardiac surgeries completed by 2019. 2022, it was the 50th anniversary of postgraduate surgical training, and that was marked in the Caribbean. And in 2025, last year, Andrews Memorial Hospital reported performing the region's first lumbar or lower back disc replacement surgery on April 11, 2025. Now, I'm saying all of that because in my deputy executive editor's good wisdom, that's George, and his editorial leadership on Monday, he led our 5 p.m. bulletin, or most important bulletin of the day, with another medical first that others perhaps would not have cared to read. And sometimes good news gets pushed down in the pile, and then bad news takes prominence. However, we should all always approach our days looking for the good. And word from the Southern Regional Health Authority on Monday about a first at the Mapen Hospital was indeed good news. The Clarendon-based facility performed its first historic surgery on a patient stabbed in the heart. The procedure was undertaken by 5 brilliant Jamaican doctors, Dr. Jevon McIntosh, Dr. Amoy Ellis, Dr. Natoya Hall Okori, Dr. Andrea Johnson, and Dr. Orain Thomas. If you're over on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, you'll see those 5 beautiful people, brilliant doctors on display right now on our screen. There they are. 5 dedicated minds who did an extraordinary feat that no doubt took a lot of skill, courage, and teamwork that resulted in the saving of a life. Now, as I reacted in the Nationwide WhatsApp group yesterday, George, when we were talking about it, I say as well, as a layman, when you hear someone being stabbed in the heart, your first reaction is shock. And unfortunately, the second is that you conclude that the person has died. When you hear that somebody's stabbing at the heart in Jamaica, that's exactly what you run to first. But this team of medical practitioners didn't draw that conclusion when that emergency case presented to them at the Mapen Hospital. Instead, they first thought to try and not see the impossible as impossible, but seeing it as a possibility that they can save a life. And they got to work. The Regional Health Authority said in their statement on Monday, in a historic first for Mapen Hospital, MPH, a multidisciplinary medical team successfully saved the life of a patient who arrived at the facility with a stab wound to the heart, marking a groundbreaking milestone in the hospital's growing capacity to manage complex trauma cases. Dr. Natoya Holokuri said the severity of the patient's condition was determined within moments of arrival. And then Dr. Orain Thomas said the team discovered significant damage to the heart during the procedure. And the team of 5, including Dr. Holokuri and Dr. Thomas, got to work. And I believe this morning it's a lesson here from these doctors about what should be our first approach when met with situations that seem too challenging to overcome or get done. First, how about trying? Which is what they did. They got to work about trying to save the life of someone that came in with a stab wound to the heart. Never let your first approach be to give up or to give in. It could all work out as it has for this patient. And that's exactly what happened in this case, and it all worked out. And I applaud this morning, George and listeners, this multidisciplinary team, Dr. Javon McIntosh, and I'll say their names again, Dr. Amoy Ellis, Dr. Natoya Holokuri, Dr. Andrea Johnson, and Dr. Orain Thomas. Thank you for what you do. There they are. Thank you for what you do. The health system and practitioners in Jamaica come in for a lot of flack sometimes, but there are incredible medical personnel like these 5 across the system who are truly in the business of saving lives. So this morning the records need to be updated, as I began at the top of the What's on My Mind, telling you about what the records say about the medical practice here in Jamaica. So it now needs to be updated, George, to say 2026, Mapen Hospital performs first historic surgery on patients stabbed in the heart. Surgery done by Dr. Javon McIntosh, Dr. Amoy Ellis, Dr. Natoya Holokuri, Dr. Andrea Johnson, and Dr. Orain Thomas.
Fantastic.
Fantastic work
fantastic.
there.
You know, I never like to say anything on what you say, leave it to breathe, but I think it's important to add this.
No, you have to contribute.
Here's the thing, 2 things. 1, this piece of history by the folks at Mapen Hospital is to be lauded by everyone with a voice. That's 1, for sure. Also, in the body of history, I don't want you to leave out a very important piece of addition to the history. The former PNP candidate in West Central St. Andrew, Dr. Warren Blake, who also made his name as a sports administrator, was a brilliant doctor. He was, as a young doctor, part of a team that participated in the first ever surgery in Jamaica to reattach a severed hand. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a piece of brilliance, a piece of history. So the history is made richer by what happened at Mapen yesterday. And you know, yesterday, Tona, when I saw the story and I started, my head started whirring, the cog started wheeling, how to add to this. I called 4 doctors myself. We never want nobody else call. I called 4 doctors myself. I got a response from 3, including one who said, "What you say? Them do what?
Exactly.
Him get stabbed in the heart and they saved him." So I said, "Yes, is this common?" And he was getting close to news time. And he said, "George, we don't even have the equipment in most places to even attempt something like that. And for them, are you sure you're reading correctly?" I say, "Yes." And the 3 who answered me, they were agog. They were like, "What? But George, that's brilliant. If they say it's historic, they're not lying. Yeah. They're not exaggerating. It is a significant thing." And I was satisfied that this was lead story material.
Absolutely incredible. It's good news. And as we indicated, those 5 doctors, the Mapen Hospital, should be applauded this morning for the amazing work that they did to save that patient's life.
And we'll talk to them on the front page.
Certainly.
Yeah.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:49.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The Temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union
Your financial partner for life is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 21 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Every day, Rosie has a glass of fruit drink with breakfast, an energy drink on the way to work, a flavored water with lunch, and 2 glasses of soda with dinner, which adds up to more than 50 teaspoons of sugar a day. And all that extra sugar could bring on obesity. Are we drinking ourselves sick? 71% of Jamaicans support a tax on sugary drinks. Help tackle obesity and protect our children's future. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica.
Jay, you know say Mikey no come? Hold on. No, sir. That sound like consumption. What that? Tuberculosis, aka TB.
Now all time something that. After nobody not get that again.
So you think TB still the boat?
If you have a cough for more than 2 weeks with fever, night sweats, and weight loss, go to your doctor or health center and get tested now. Let's be vigilant and stop the spread of TB infections. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
There's a very good film I watched years ago, The Butterfly Effect.
Yeah.
I think the patient in this instance could star in something called the Lazarus Effect. Because to be stabbed in the heart and to effectively be brought back and full recovery is what they said. Full recovery.
It's just
Well,
brilliant.
I tell you, our people,
Yeah.
I tell you.
And Charmaine Walker is asking if they're home trained. Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
man, I tell you. Ludlow McLean is on the streets for us talking about the traffic situation. Morning, Ludlow.
Hey. Morning, George. Morning, Tana.
Morning to you, Ludlow.
To the listeners, everyone, it's, you know, yes, wait, I've already mentioned it, but it started earlier than 3, though. You went a bit early. The rain was, had some heavy rain. And I just want to say there are some little concerns in terms of pools of the water around, pools of water. But for the time being, though, if you're in the Ligony area using Monroe Road, especially if you're coming from Wellington Drive, and just at that intersection of Wellington Drive and Monroe Road, there's some really craters there, so you have to be careful. It has been there for a number of days, and even before the construction, and it has gotten worse. And then the rain falls, and then that's it. You have to be very careful. Right there at the intersection of Monroe Road, almost to the foot of Beverly Hills, Beverly Drive. So be careful, motorists. In the meantime, that area is active. Ligony area, Roll Up Road is also busy, just in the vicinity of the embassy there. And coming down, going across the Hope Road, it's better movement though. Hope Road also steady going all the way down. You go past the top of Mountain View, CV Avenue to the right, then past Stanton Terrace going down. It's fairly steady at the moment. Going on to Arthurwin, you see a number of vehicles flowing, but no major delays yet. Those vehicles are making their way onto Arthurwin Drive, and then from Arthurwin to Tom Redcombe. And Tom Redcombe is moving steadily at the moment, and going further down towards Caledonia, it is also steady. The busiest area right now is actually in the crossroads here from Caledonia end, from the Retirement Road end, and from Harper Tree Road end. And not to mention, it's already busy in Harper Tree, coming from South Road Avenue, Constant Spring Road, and Hope Road, and going down Harper Tree Road. So there you go, our first report for the morning on the wet conditions. It's over to you, George and Tona.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with Street Smarts. One up next, your word of the day.
Your word of the day is spelled B-E-A-T-I-F-I-C, spelled B-E-A-T-I-F-I-C.
Beatific. Beatific. Beatific.
Beatific is your word of the day, an adjective, a descriptive word bestowing bliss, blessings, happiness, or the like. Beatific, or blissful or saintly. A beatific smile. Beatific is your word of the day. And let's see, dictionary.com says the word was first recorded between 1630 and 1640 to use a beatific in a sentence. I smile one of my beatific smiles throughout and leave people happy. Or her hair is short and neat, her smile beatific, and her conscience troubled. Beatific is your word of the day. BEATIFIC, meaning bestowing bliss, blessings, happiness, or the like, or blissful or saintly. Up next, your features at the top of the hour, the news.
Cinnamon has been valued for its medicinal properties for thousands of years. In recent times, modern research has begun to validate many of its potential health benefits. In Food for Thought today, we explore 7 health benefits of cinnamon. 1. Rich in antioxidants. Cinnamon is packed with powerful antioxidants such as polyphenols, which help protect the body from oxidative damage caused by free radicals. 2. Widely recognized for its anti-diabetic properties, cinnamon is considered one of the most effective natural remedies for regulating blood sugar levels. According to naturopath and medical doctor Gus Landivar, cinnamon enhances insulin sensitivity in the body, aiding in better glucose management.
You see, cinnamon lowers blood sugar because it improves sensitivity to insulin in the human body. What it does is basically help transport sugar from our bloodstream into our cells and organs, keeping those sugar levels stable and well balanced. This has even a better effect if you decide to engage in physical activity on a daily basis. I believe there's nothing better than exercise, especially if you're taking a good supplement for sugar control.
3. Cinnamon may help reduce key risk factors for heart disease, such as high cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood pressure, promoting overall cardiovascular health. Cinnamaldehyde, a key active compound in cinnamon, may help combat various infections. Research suggests it can inhibit the growth of certain bacteria, including Candida, Listeria, and Salmonella. The antimicrobial properties of cinnamon may help prevent tooth decay and freshen breath. Additionally, it is beneficial for maintaining healthy skin. Some studies indicate that cinnamon may offer protection against certain viruses. According to Dr. Goss, cinnamon's natural compounds contribute to its antiviral properties.
You might not know this, but cinnamon contains natural antimicrobial, antibiotic, antifungal, and antiviral properties. This is especially helpful for the situation we are living today. Cinnamon has been used for centuries by many cultures to fight off harmful infections and viruses. Traditional cultures, especially in China and India, recognize the power of cinnamon as an antimicrobial. But that's not all, because at the same time, this herb is also known for its powerful immune-boosting compounds. Cinnamon oil particularly can protect us against bacterial infections and common conditions like colds or even virus infections.
Research suggests that cinnamon's powerful antioxidants may help protect cells from DNA damage, mutations, and tumor growth, making it a promising candidate for cancer prevention and support. That's it for Food for Thought today.
Fearless and fair, Nationwide 90 FM.
There are 3 phases or parts to a meeting. 1, before the meeting. 2, during the meeting. And 3, after the meeting. This is Lifestyle Pages on how to plan and have effective meetings. Before the meeting. The chairperson of the meeting must 1, communicate or define the purpose or goal of the meeting. 2, develop an agenda with the key participants. Examine the sample agenda to get an idea of what is placed in the agenda. Distribute the agenda. Circulate background material, lengthy documents, and articles before or prior to the meeting so members will be prepared and feel involved and up to date. 4, choose an appropriate meeting time. Set a time limit and stick to it. People will attend meetings if you make them productive, predictable, and as short as possible. 5, arrange the room so that members face each other. Examples, like in a circle or semicircle. For large groups, arrange the seats in a U-shaped formation. 6. Choose a room or space suitable for the group size. Small rooms create tension. A larger room is more comfortable and encourages individual expression. 7. Post a large copy of the agenda in front of which members can refer. Use visual aids like posters, diagrams, etc. for interest. 8. Be sure everyone knows the meeting place and venue and when the next meeting will be held. I'm Valerie, and those were Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
One nation, one purpose. To rebuild stronger than before. Build it to last with tools and equipment from National Supply. The temperature by National Supply is...
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 21 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 today, Tuesday, March 17, 2026, U.S. President Donald Trump tells Cuban officials to remove Miguel Diaz-Canel from power as blockade tightens. Analysts say they expect statesman-like performance from the opposition leader when he contributes to the budget debate later on this Tuesday. MSMEs want opposition leader to address governance, accountability, and renewable energy in his budget presentation. And in international news, Israel reports killing top Iranian security official in strike.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Multiple media outlets in the US and Britain are reporting that Donald Trump has told Cuban officials that their country's president has to go. It's the most direct statement yet from the US president about his intention to change the regime in the Caribbean nation. Siobhan Campbell reports.
Donald Trump spoke to reporters at the White House on Monday, telling them he expects to have the honor of taking Cuba. His comment came on the same day a U.S.-imposed oil blockade on the island plunged the country into darkness under a total power blackout. Trump's comments about his clear intention to be the U.S. president to forcibly remove Cuba's head of government from office was reported by the New York Times, Reuters, the AFP, along with The Guardian in the United Kingdom. In his exchange with reporters at the White House, Trump claimed that he could do anything I want with Cuba, even as negotiations continue between Washington and Havana about easing the oil blockade. Trump continued, whether I free it, take it, think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They are a very weakened nation right now. Shortly after he spoke, the New York Times reported that U.S. officials told Cuba to remove President Miguel Diaz-Canel from power during recent talks. Toppling Diaz-Canel from power would eliminate a key figurehead while leaving in place the repressive communist regime which has run Cuba for almost 7 decades. Cuba has traditionally rejected any interference in its internal affairs and has considered any proposals on that front to be a deal-breaker for any agreement. The U.S. has sought to intensify pressure on Cuba, its longtime foe, since seizing the Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro in January. Maduro was Cuba's most important foreign benefactor. Since removing Maduro from power in January and joining Israel in attacking Iran, Trump has openly mused that Cuba would be next. Trump cut off Venezuelan oil shipments to Cuba and threatened to put tariffs on any country that sold oil to the nation, strangling its antiquated power grid. Last Friday, the 65-year-old Diaz-Canel, who succeeded Raul Castro as president in 2018, said he expected talks with the United States to happen under the principles of equality and respect for the political systems of both countries, sovereignty and self-determination. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Historian Wayne Chen says Jamaica will recover from the ongoing tension with neighboring Cuba caused by the discontinuation of the Cuban medical program earlier this month. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday.
We will be back. We have had worse breaks in the past. Those who recall the 70s and I lived through the 70s, we had the issue of Ulysses Estrada, the Cuban ambassador and DJI, and self-proclaimed DJI colonel, interfering in Jamaican politics very directly. He was part of a march against the Gleaner. There was the Moonex affair. There was the affair of George Flash and Tony Brown finding two of Jamaica's most wanted men finding refuge in Cuba. There are many, many more egregious things that have happened. And here we are today. What I'm saying is that Cuba is our close neighbor. The Cuban and Jamaican people have long shared a mutual affection and a common history and intertwined history. We'll bounce back.
Wayne Chen, historian. On March 5, the Holness administration announced the termination of its 50-year medical cooperation program with Cuba. This, it says, was the result of neither government being able to agree on the was a result of both governments being unable to agree on the terms and conditions of a new technical cooperation arrangement. In response, Cuba's embassy in Jamaica accused the Holness administration of bowing to U.S. pressure on the issue. It subsequently emerged that the Cuban medical and teaching professionals who've been working in Jamaica over the decades have been working under conditions of servitude. A document revealed by Nationwide News, prepared based on testimony from a Cuban teacher and two doctors, claimed the salaries they and their colleagues worked were paid to the Cuban government. The opposition PNP has joined the Cuban embassy in criticizing the government's decision, but political commentator Kevin O'Brien Chang disagrees.
You go tell the Jamaicans here, you can go work somewhere, but the government going to take 90% of the money. They would never accept that. And I can never understand these people who we enjoy, luckily, democratic rights. The workers have rights. And they think it's good enough for Jamaica, but it's not good enough for the Cubans. That logic never ceases to amaze me. We can use our influence to try to get the rights for the Cuban people that we Jamaicans proudly enjoy. That is where our goal should be. Which sane person would choose to be friends with Cuba at the consequence of being an enemy of the United States? America has done far, far more for Jamaica than Cuba ever has.
Kevin O'Brien Chang, political commentator. He was also speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. A 5.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Cuba early on Tuesday. The U.S. Geological Survey says the quake hit at a depth of 7.2 miles south-southwest of the port of Maisie at 12:28 a.m. local time. There were no immediate reports of damage. The quake comes on the heels of an island-wide blackout on Monday as the U.S. pursues its oil blockade against the country's government. Jamaica's point-to-point inflation rate for February this year was 3.9%. That's according to the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. What this means is that the price of goods and services in the month of February this year changed by 3.9% when compared to the price of said goods and services in February 2025. The rate was influenced by the price of goods and services in the divisions food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels, and personal care, social protection, and miscellaneous goods and services. Meanwhile, the inflation rate for the month of February declined by 0.9%. For the division food and non-alcoholic beverages, there was a 2.5% decline. This movement was due primarily to an 11.3% fall in the group, which includes vegetables, tubers, plantains, and cooking bananas. These decreases were attributable to the decline in the prices of some agricultural produce, including cabbage, carrot, cucumber, sweet pepper, and tomato, due to increased supply in the local market. The movement was moderated by a 0.2% increase in the group housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, and the transport divisions. Managing Director of Strategic Alignment Limited, Robert Winter, says opposition leader Mark Golding must take a statesmanlike approach to his contribution to the budget debate when he speaks in Gordon House on Tuesday. Winter says it would not benefit the opposition leader to be combative with his words.
First and foremost, I think the opposition leader should give credit where credit is due and acknowledge the reduction in murders as one of the major achievements we have had for some time. Secondly, I don't think he should go into the details, but look at a broader perspective of what his opposition spokesman said. How do we address the fundamental growth challenges we have had for a long time. 2, how do we really go about transforming the public sector to extract value? Because quite a bit of the $1.4 trillion goes into public sector salaries. And how do we extract value, particularly for those increases that were given to the politicians and the senior public officers?
Robert Winter, he is Managing Director of Strategic Alignment Limited. Golding will deliver his remarks at around 2 p.m. in the House of Representatives. The presentation will be carried live and in full on Nationwide 90 FM. Meanwhile, President of the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises MSME Alliance, Antoinette Hamilton, wants the opposition leader to tell the country how he would handle issues such as accountability in government.
I'm also looking forward to just a deeper dive into some of the other social ills of the country in terms of the level of accountability in public governance. How is it that he proposes the government treat with that in light of the several Auditor General's reports and their findings, and also in terms of export and renewable energy, what is his direction for that, especially given what is happening in other areas of the world.
That's Antoinette Hamilton, President of the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Alliance. Meanwhile, political commentator Jermaine Barrett says a change in the budget format would liven the debate and offer more value to the listening public.
It shouldn't be that you have the governing side, the Prime Minister and the opposition and the Finance Minister going back to back to conclude the budget debate, because it doesn't give a kind of response that is helpful for the democracy and for the electorate to really form a solid opinion, right? We need that, and you see, it gives an advantage to the governing team. So yes, I would certainly recommend that we go the Finance Minister first, then you have the Minister on the Shadow Minister, then you have maybe the Prime Minister and so forth. Alternated is what I'm saying.
That's Jermaine Barrett, the political commentator under the current format. The debate is opened by the Minister of Finance, who's followed by the opposition spokesman on finance, opposition leader, and Prime Minister before the Finance Minister returns to close the debate. Prospective candidate for the post of Colonel of the Accompong Maroons, Cadian Wallace, is rejecting claims that he is not qualified to run. The designated security minister in Accompong, Tamika Taylor, told our news center the fact Wallace lives overseas makes him ineligible for nomination. But according to Wallace, that rule, which he says was crafted by incumbent Accompong Colonel Richard Curry, is not Maroon law. Mahiri Stewart has that story.
According to the 2004 Maroon Constitution, aspirants for the office of Colonel must be resident in Accompong for at least 3 years prior to the election and must be a Maroon citizen by birth. Taylor told Nationwide News that this means Wallace's proposed bid to become chief is invalid.
Well, Cadian doesn't qualify to run in the election, so he won't be nominated. He is from there, but he's not living there. He's living overseas. No, not based on our constitution. Our constitution clearly states that persons who are running the election must be living in the state for at least 3 years. The 2004 constitution was put aside. It was not ratified when Chief Curry was running for the election 5 years ago. The then political ombudsman indicated that the person who won the election should ratify the constitution in the first 100 days, and that is what happened.
Wallace struck down these claims when our news center called him for a reaction to Taylor's words. He says the rules cited by Taylor and crafted by Maroon Chief Richard Curry were never officially ratified.
He dismissed the constitution which he come and find, which was signed into law by a justice of the peace, the legal body that signs documents that are recognized in Jamaica. He went ahead and write his own constitution, and when it was brought to light, he changed and calling it ratification, and him and some people that he gathered signed that document which he want to impose into law, overriding the legal authority of the country.
Wallace says he's willing to speak with Curry in order to discuss how to properly ratify the rules.
Jamaica law supersedes every other law in this country. Doesn't matter what rules we might come up with in Accompong. The laws of Jamaica supersedes all those laws. So it is just another waste of his idea that he's trying to impose on people, calling it a constitution. It will not be recognized by any of us. And in future, we can look at it and go through the right process and make it into law, signed by the legal body of Jamaica.
Wallace's rejection of the rules proposed by Corey represents another disagreement between the two where Maroon law is concerned. An election for a new colonel became due in the St. Elizabeth Maroon village on February 18. In February, Wallace said the position of Maroon chief became vacant on that day. Corey responded to Wallace, declaring that he still held the position as well as the power to call the next Maroon election. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Mahiri. Members of the Rwanda Defense Force RDF have left Jamaica after completing a 2-month humanitarian mission to assist with recovery efforts following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. The contingent of military engineers returned to Rwanda on Sunday after helping to rehabilitate infrastructure damaged by the powerful hurricane which struck the island in October 2025. In a post on X, the Rwanda Defense Force said the team was deployed under a bilateral cooperation agreement between Rwanda and Jamaica aimed at supporting the recovery of critical infrastructure destroyed by natural disasters. During the deployment, the engineers worked closely with the Jamaica Defense Force and local authorities to repair residential houses and schools. The JDF also expressed gratitude to the Rwanda contingent, noting that the soldiers assisted residents in the western parishes of Trelawney and St. James, whose homes were damaged by the hurricane. In a statement on X, the JDF described the Rwandan soldiers as brothers and sisters who worked assiduously to help rebuild Jamaica. The JDF noted the Rwandan engineers helped restore hope to affected families. The Realtors Association of Jamaica, RAJ, is warning the public to be vigilant following a sophisticated property scam involving stolen real estate signage. In a statement on Monday, the RAJ says official for sale signs belonging to a licensed realtor were stolen from a property in Stony Hill, St. Andrew. The signs were then transported to Portland, where they were altered with a fraudulent phone number and then placed on another property. According to the RAJ, the scam was uncovered after an observant citizen who was familiar with the legitimate agent noticed that the contact information on the sign had been changed and reported the discrepancy. The RAJ says scammers are increasingly using the reputation of licensed real estate professionals to deceive unsuspecting buyers. It's urging members of the public to verify that agents are registered with the Real Estate Board of Jamaica before engaging in any property transaction. It's also advising prospective buyers to cross-check property listings with the official website of the brokerage, avoid paying cash deposits before proper verification, and to conduct business in the realtor's physical office. The RAJ notes that realtors are generally paid after a transaction is successfully completed and should not request upfront cash payments. Showers and isolated thunderstorms that started impacting sections of the island overnight are set to continue for the rest of the week. The Met Service says the unstable weather conditions are the result of a trough across the Western Caribbean, coupled with a low-level jet stream across the Central Caribbean. They are forecast to affect mainly eastern and south-central parishes during the morning hours on Tuesday, with a gradual shift to northern and southwestern parishes by afternoon into the evening. Conditions throughout the day are set to be mostly cloudy and windy. More unstable weather is projected on Wednesday, with a prefrontal trough set to move into the vicinity of the island late in the day. That trough is set to bring widely scattered afternoon showers and isolated thunderstorms across most parishes until Friday. The Met Service says a cold front is also entering the northwestern Caribbean. International news now. Israel's defense minister says its military has killed Iran's security chief Ali Larijani in a strike. Larijani was last seen in public at the Quds Day March in Tehran on Friday. Iran has not confirmed whether he has been killed or injured. The Israeli military also announced it had killed the head of the Revolutionary Guard's all-volunteer Basij force. Meanwhile, Gulf Arab nations have come under renewed missile and drone fire from Iran, which has been targeting regional oil infrastructure and vowed not to relinquish its stranglehold on the strategic Strait of Hormuz. Drones and rockets have been launched at the U.S. Embassy in Iraq's capital, Baghdad, in the second such attack of the war. And the United Arab Emirates has reopened its airspace after missile and drone threats from Iran forced it to close briefly. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:19.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Outaris, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 22 degrees Celsius in Mandeville. Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning to all our stakeholders in the transport sector, drivers, passengers, and our visitors. It's bright and sunny now, but that build upon that Mandela there on the Mandela Highway, I understand it's a juice vehicle, one of those delivery vans, turned over, so it's on the top. So no further details. Apparently it was heading in the westbound side on the Mandela Highway, and somewhere before you get to the toll. So that's the most I can give you, but it has overturned, and that's the situation. But you know, as usual, if there's an accident, you have curious onlookers. So those are on the opposite side will be looking to find out or ascertain what's happening, so it slows up vehicular flow. All right, so that's the most I could give at the moment. All right, in the meantime, the traffic flows is already heavy on Washington Boulevard, Spanish Town Road, and all these areas. If you're heading to Dunrobin, it's the same thing. If you're heading to Malines Boulevard intersection, Malines Road already has a lot of traffic heading towards going past Seaward Drive, going past Walton Park Road, going further into Half a Tree. Some vehicles there's a line trying to make that right turn onto Torrance Drive, onto Wood Glen, then onto Hagley Park Road. Then there's also a bit up there. Going up into Hagley Park Road, it's the same thing. But if you're in the Richmond Park community, also there's Richmond Park Avenue, and also that very busy road, Montgomery Avenue. Montgomery Avenue takes you onto Queens Avenue, where there's some traffic there. And if you're on Chisholm Avenue, it's a long line of traffic heading out to Maxfield Avenue. And Maxfield Avenue quite active, going all the way up into Half a Tree. Linda Road is the same thing, has traffic, and also Retirement Road. So these areas are going to be busy right throughout the morning, and the intersections will be busy. So we ask as usual, so do not block the intersections, motorists. And as usual, be careful as you traverse. Some roads are wet and slippery, so the normal speed is not. We don't want to see that happening. We don't want any accident or catastrophe. So there you go. Our second report for the morning at Street Smart. Your safety is our concern. Over to you, George.
Thank you very much, Ludlow. Ludlow there with Street Smarts 2. That section from the Coconut Industry Board up to the stoplight where Waterloo Road intersects with Trafalgar Road and Hope Road. It looks like a parking lot, because the cars are it looks like a car warehouse, King, one of the warehouses on Marcus Garvey Drive. The cars are just there bumper to bumper, and it now move. Yeah, parking lot situation this morning. Anyway, front page time. Front page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. .23 on the clock. Welcome to Nationwide this morning. Just before you go, Tona, just to tell the listeners that there is a situation in the UK where there are fears about a meningitis outbreak. I was seeing some stories yesterday. Apparently there was a concert, and they feel that the concert caused the spread of the disease, And I think I was reading something either late last night or early this morning. I think an 18-year-old girl has died, and there was a long line. I saw a video of a line of people gathering to go and get tested because there's an alert in parts of the UK for people who were at the concert to go and get tested for meningitis. And I just saw a notice on BBC that the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, is set to address Parliament in the next few hours to talk about the meningitis. So it's a serious matter in the UK right now, an outbreak of meningitis.
Yeah, turning now to health matters in Jamaica. The Mapen Hospital in Clarendon says it has accomplished the historic feat of saving the life of a patient who was stabbed in the heart. In a statement on Monday, the hospital says that the patient arrived at the facility with a stab wound to the heart. It says a medical team attended to the wound minutes after the patient arrived. The hospital says it was able to conduct several medical procedures leading to the patient's survival. Following open heart surgery, the patient recovered steadily. After continued monitoring and treatment, the patient was discharged and later returned for follow-up evaluations, which confirmed a full recovery. The case marks a groundbreaking milestone in the hospital's growing capacity to manage complex trauma cases. Nationwide News spoke to 3 medical doctors who agree that the feat recorded at Mapen Hospital is indeed worthy of the highest commendation. Acting consultant in the A&E department, Dr. Natoya Holokori, says the case reflects Mapen Hospital's commitment to continuous professional development, training, and establishing protocols for severe trauma cases. And we're now being joined by the acting consultant in the A&E department, Dr. Natoya Holokori, and we're also being joined by the senior registrar in general surgery, Dr. Orain Thomas. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. And Nationwide is saying and extending to you, thank you for what you do.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
It is really a pleasure to be on with you. Thanks for highlighting this case.
So let's begin with you, Dr. Hall Okori. What was going through your mind? Walk us through those moments when the patient arrived with the stab wound to the heart and how the team prepared for that emergency surgery.
Oh, yeah. What's going through my mind? Okay, we need to keep this patient alive. You know, the patient arrived. The team immediately recognized that this was a life-threatening chest injury. And so our focus was really rapid assessments, okay? We considered what organs could be affected. Is it the heart? Is it the lungs? Is it both? Is it in the abdomen? What other injuries are we dealing with? And while we're making that assessment, we're also making all the efforts to stabilize the patient. The major turning point really was the use of bedside ultrasound, which quickly diagnosed that the patient had blood collecting around the heart, which was preventing it from pumping effectively. So we knew that we had to perform a procedure to remove this blood from around the heart and relieve the pressure. So that intervention was critical because it stabilized the patient enough to safely reach the operating room where Dr. Thomas and the team could do definitive repair. It's truly an example of rapid teamwork and coordinated care between the emergency department, anesthesiology, and general surgery.
And talk to us about that teamwork, Dr. Thomas, the procedure and the opening the patient's chest and all of what you guys did to save that patient.
Hi, yes. So let me just paint the picture for you.
Yes.
So at Mapen Hospital, we have no intensive care unit, no high dependency unit. So this is a procedure that, is done. It's done at other hospitals, type A hospitals like Kingston Public Hospital and the University Hospital. But unlike those hospitals, we don't have ICU and HDU and cardiothoracic surgery. So that's the context in which we are doing this procedure. So the patient, as soon as the patient got to the emergency room, we got a call from the emergency team. And the surgery team would have sent members to the emergency room to assist them in addition to the anesthetic team. So while that is going on, we're in the operating room preparing for the patient. The nurses, the doctors, the anesthetic team. And so, as soon as the patient got to the operating room, we quickly took him from, put him on the bed, and we immediately started because we had all the equipment available without any delay. So, having opened the chest, I opened the left chest and was met with clots and blood surrounding the lung. Now, going into a surgery like this, we have to, be prepared. We have to anticipate what are the possibilities. And one such possibility when entering the chest could be a lung injury. So thankfully, he had no lung injury, and there was just this isolated injury to the pericardium, which is the sac that surrounds the heart. Mm-hmm. So we saw a 1 centimeter injury to the pericardium with blood coming from it and clots. Immediately opened the pericardium and was met with clots surrounding the heart. The heart was faintly beating. So we were able to quickly quickly identify the area that it was beating from, and quickly got control by just compressing with the finger or fingers. Now, having control that, we placed a clamp to isolate the injury. So all while the heart is beating, as we progressed, the heart started beating a little harder. Mm-hmm. And so we were faced with the challenge of, repairing this injury while the heart is beating. Thankfully, we were able to do that pretty quickly, in less than a minute. We're able to repair the heart.
And when you say repair, Dr. Thomas, tell our listeners what you did. You stitched it. What did you?
It. So yes, it took 3 quote-unquote stitches for us to close that area adequately. And so, a critical point in this procedure is making sure that when we're placing those stitches, we don't, tear through the heart, because the heart muscle is, a little friable. Mm-hmm. And so, in doing that, you can actually make the injury bigger. So it has to be done carefully. Mm. Additionally, we have to look out for nearby arteries, the coronary arteries. In placing the stitch, if the coronary artery is damaged, then the blood supply to the heart itself is going to be impaired, and so that's something that would have to. Well, that was a major thought. So that was considered, and thankfully we had no injury to the coronary arteries, and our stitch did not include the coronary arteries or any other critical structure on the heart itself.
Dr. Thomas, you said you opened the chest. Who did the stitching?
I did the stitching.
Wow. Mm. Wow. Hold the line for us, Dr. Oholo-Corey, Dr. Thomas. We're going to come back with more. Our listeners are loving every minute of it, and it's a joy to look among the YouTube comments this morning, because people are saying so many things about Jamaica and the Jamaicans, and you'll know the impact days, weeks from now about what you did on recently with this patient. Absolutely tremendous. More after the break.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, while we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good.
Jamaica, stop the killing and give up the guns. Just live good now.
The time brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace is
7:33.
Super Center, everything for your home and more.
Bring back the fun of shopping. Discover the best finds in every aisle of amazing items. For your kitchen, your living room, your bedroom, or any room, Azan Supercenter has that perfect touch to elevate your space to the next level. Our team is ready to help you find what you are looking for you or someone else. So stop by our Crossroads store today and rediscover the fun of shopping.
Azan Supercenter, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Morning after morning, you've made Nationwide 90 FM part of your routine. So let's take this connection one step closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club and be part of it officially on Patreon.
Family. Amazing family.
Over a month ago, we invited you to be a part of something special, something different. And you know what? Over 500 of you said, all right, we're in. That means over 500 of you decided to move from just being a listener to being a part of the family. The Nationwide Family Club isn't just an idea anymore. It's real, it's growing, and it feels good.
And because family looks out for family, for the entire month of March, we're doing something extra. Every single week, one family club member will win a $25,000 supermarket voucher. That's 4 winners, 4 weeks, 4 real chances. Because when you stick with us, we believe you should feel it. Loyalty shouldn't just be appreciated, it should feel rewarded.
The Nationwide Family Club is where you, our listeners, come closer. Not just hearing the stories, but seeing how they're made. Not just listening to the voices, but connecting with the people behind them. In the Family Club, you get early access to documentaries, exclusive content on air, member-only conversations, birthday shout-outs, breaking news alerts, and depending on your tier, studio experiences and private live streams. That's not just regular radio. That's family access.
This isn't just a subscription. It's connection. It's community. It's saying, I support what you do, and I want to be closer to it. More content, more interactions, more behind the scenes, and now, more chances to win.
And if you've been watching from the sidelines, we've been saving a seat for you. Join today. Be a part of the first 1,000 family members. And this March, you could be one of 4 people walking away with a $25,000 supermarket voucher. Go to patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. The Nationwide Family Club. Closer than radio, stronger than ever, and growing with you, our family.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, talking to 2 team members, the Brilliant 5 at May Pen Hospital. They're being dubbed by the public. Just to give some comments from the YouTubers before we continue the interview. Damian Henry says, I work at Yale New Haven Hospital in Connecticut. I'm proud of our Jamaican doctors. Up, up. Bridget Marshall says, God's perpetual blessings, doctors from the May Pen Hospital who performed that miraculous heart surgery. Congratulations. Loxley Thomas says, amazing job, doctors. Thanks, George and Turner, for highlighting this magnificent procedure. Love the confidence these doctors give off. Blessings to the team. Positive vibration. Leonard Seville says, I'm almost in tears just listening to the doctors giving account of the life-saving procedure they did. We have the acting consultant in the A&E department, Dr. Natoya Hall-Okuri, and senior registrar in general surgery, Dr. Oreen Thomas, with us, and they're talking about what happened with that patient. Now, doctors, we as I read the statement yesterday, I recognized immediately that, of course, doctor-patient confidentiality was at the heart of how the information was communicated. I'll take the liberty of asking a couple questions just to give my listeners and viewers a broader appreciation of what you handled. So, without saying names, of course, because I know you can't do that, the gender of the patient and the age range, if you don't want to give a specific age, I think that would help to understand even more what happened. Hello? Morning?
Hello?
Yeah, Dr. Thomas, are you there?
Yeah, man. I'm here.
Yeah, right. So the gender, if you may, and the age range of the patient, even as you try to keep certain details private.
So he's a man in his 30s.
Okay, right. Now, the literature says, Dr. Thomas, that injuries, cardiac stab wounds, as they call them in some places, that there's a better chance, even though it's as a layman thing's almost a fatal injury, but injuries, stab wounds, which are stab wounds from a ice pick or something smaller, as compared to a big knife or a bigger knife or something with a wide blade, that there's a better chance that the intervention can prove successful. Do you know what stabbed what the patient was stabbed with, and whether or not it was one of those smaller implements or was it a large one?
Well, just by the size of the wound, I can say it wasn't a knife pick. So it would more be in keeping with a knife.
A knife wound?
Yes, a knife wound.
Yes. Based on what the situation with the patient was, was there anything in your training that immediately assisted in the procedure? In other words, did you simulate this kind of intervention several times before and so you were ready for it, or as the situation presented itself, yourself and the team just responded to what was in front of you?
Well, absolutely. Well, we both are trained, myself and Dr. Holokuri, are trained at the University Hospital, University of the West Indies. Our training is not only specific to, certain conditions, but it trains you to be, confident and prepared in these events. So it requires a certain level of leadership in order to coordinate these teams, and it requires a sense of confidence in your abilities to face and to approach any possible complication or any possible condition as it relates to trauma. And so at the university and at the Kingston Public Hospital, they would encounter these in much more, a larger number of patients with these conditions. Our training, requires that we rotate between both facilities. And so we're exposed to a lot of trauma. And so when we're faced with a patient like this, it's just a matter of going through the steps, going through a protocol, and, just applying yourself.
So there's no panic involved?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Dr. Holokuri, one prominent medical doctor I called yesterday, when I outlined to him why I was calling, he went into immediately the resource constraints that would attend to doctors faced with a situation like this. And so it was wondrous amazement that he responded to me, the fact that you were able to pull off this feat. In circumstances such as those where you don't have the facility at the hospital that would be ideal to treat a patient like this in, does that ever figure into your intervention, or are you just focused on the situation at hand and working with those limited tools you have?
Yes, each scenario presents itself. We're always making fashion. I say that all the time. Our grandparents say, whatever they give you, you make something. You get up in the morning and you make something to feed the children. It's the same mentality. Patient comes in, we're not bothered by our limitations. Each patient come in, we look around, we use what we have. We mentally, and we have protocols too, that make adjustments for stuff like this. So if we don't have this, this is what we can use, And I said it again, one of the things that was very integral in this case is the use of point-of-care ultrasound. If we did not have an ultrasound on hand, we would have missed this cardiac tamponade, which is basically the pooling of the blood around the heart, right? We would have missed it, So the first thing we did, we exposed the patient, we recognized the tool injury to the left chest, and the next thing we do is grab the ultrasound, we see it, and we start preparing. Team effort, nurse, doctor, everybody involved, someone grabbing something, putting it together. It's not we have everything in one area. Whatever resource we have it in one area, nicely, put away. And the situation presents itself, we grab our tools and we work. And it's, just picture one set of person putting in IV, one set of person doing the ultrasound, one set of person putting on the oxygen, one set of person calling anesthesiology, another person calling general surgery, another person calling blood bank. So everybody is just, and it flows because we practice, we have simulation exercises for these things. The University Hospital of the West Indies Emergency Medicine Division, led by, Dr. Simone French, Dr. Rodna Hudson, we do these a lot. It's a part of our training. Just that when you go back to the rural setting, you have to take the time to make the adjustments. But the same thing happens all the time. We execute, and move fast.
And what's your key takeaway going forward, Dr. Thomas, out of this case?
Well, this case highlights that with teamwork and, applying, the principles that would have learned during training, with all of this, and, with the limited resources that we have at the Mason Hospital, we're still able to offer world-class care. We're somewhat disrupting the narrative, that, at Mason Hospital, we have poor outcomes all the time. But, we always try our best. I can tell you that. We always try our best with the limited resources we have. And, this is the kind of outcome that we always want. I must also highlight the anesthetic team, the anesthesia team. They played a critical role in this patient and his recovery. Keeping him stable before they went out to the emergency room to intubate this patient because he became unconscious. They were there during the procedure and after the procedure, without any intensive care unit, without any high dependency unit. This is a defining department when it comes to type A or type B facility, and we don't have that. But they're able to, offer this kind of care even without those critical resources. And so, we always try our best, and I'm really grateful that you're able to highlight this case. This is just one of many cases, where we have good outcomes because of teamwork.
Wow, where it is that you're encountering resource constraints, a wise man once said it's always better to be short of equipment because the people can make the difference. And the people, the team, the integrated team made the difference where this patient is concerned. I want to thank you this morning, Dr. Natoya Holokuri, Dr. Oreen Thomas, and extend the thanks to all of your colleagues who helped you in this regard. Maypen Hospital making history, saving the life of a man in his 30s who was stabbed in the heart. Jamaica thanks you. And as you said, Dr. Thomas, it's a disruption of the narrative about the quality of our healthcare system and the quality of the personnel and everything. This reminds us that there are some very, very good professionals working here who can, as Dr. Holokuri says, turn them hand make fashion. When the situation presents itself, they can do what is necessary to get a good outcome. Thank you this morning, and all the best to both of you and your colleagues.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well,
what a segment, what
incredible.
A story. Boy, I tell you, see, I've always told you, you see, when we are at our worst, Jamaicans, we're worse than everybody else on the face of this earth. But when we're good, we're better than the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I tell you.
We're a big deal.
Yeah, break time.
Small fries.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
7:48.
Hawkeye expresses heartfelt sympathy to all Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa. As we recover together, we remain committed to securing what matters most. The temperature by Hawkeye is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 22 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
The heart of Jamaica moves to a beat. This year, it's the same heartbeat of community, guiding hands with the sound of resilience. To rebuild, that same slice is now wrapped in a different story for a community in need. Taste the cheese, taste the beat of Jamaica.
The Jamaica Customs Agency is ready and set to go to Montego Bay, St. James. This Friday, March 24, Customs meets the community. The Town of the Community Tour edition. Join us at our first stop, Witter Village at 9:30 a.m. Then on Barnett Street at Consumers Meets Plus. Catch us at Fairview Town Center beside Progressive Foods. And afterwards, the grand finale is at 3 p.m. in Sam Shop Square. Come, get lots of information and enjoy the entertainment and leave with prizes and giveaways. That's Customs meets the community this Friday, March 20 in St. James as Montego Bay comes back alive.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Talking to you earlier about that meningitis outbreak in the UK. The Health Secretary in the UK, Wes Streeting, says the meningitis outbreak is unprecedented and it is localized for now in the county of Kent. For those of you who remember your county cricket, your English county cricket, that's where Carl Hooper used to play in Kent, for Kent in the English County Championship. Kent, the famous city in Kent would be Canterbury. I mean, Jamaicans would say Canterbury, but Canterbury, old historic city in Kent, just to localize where in England I'm talking about, for those of you who follow cricket could give you that information. Now, meningitis is a dangerous inflammation of the protective membrane covering the brain and spinal cord, often causing severe headaches, fever, and a stiff neck. It's primarily caused by viral or bacterial infections and is transmitted through close contact, coughing, or sneezing. I don't know if it will be serious enough for our health ministry to start looking at people coming from the UK. Don't know. Maybe that's a logical step. Or maybe it's even too early to talk about that. But with the health situations, there's nothing as too early to move to prevent something from happening. And the health secretary was in the parliament, in the House of Commons just now, updating members of parliament about what he said is an unprecedented outbreak of meningitis in the UK.
Yeah, and just to add that the BBC is reporting that 2 people have died and also indicating 4 of the 15 cases are confirmed as meningitis B, known as MEN-B, the strain behind an outbreak. Yeah, so we'll bring to you further updates throughout the day in relation to what's happening in the UK in relation to this disease. Turning now to matters in Accompong. Prospective candidate for the post of Colonel of the Accompong Maroons, Caden Wallace, is rejecting claims that he's not qualified to run. The designated security minister in Accompong, Tamika Taylor, told our news center the fact that Wallace lives overseas makes him ineligible for nomination. But according to Wallace, that rule, which he says was crafted by incumbent Accompong Colonel Richard Curry, is not Maroon law. We're being joined by the prospective candidate for the post of Colonel of the Accompong Maroons, Caden Wallace. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Tana. How are you doing?
Not so bad. How are you?
Morning, sir. Morning, sir.
Not too bad.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. In relation, Mr. Wallace, to the rules about who can run, who is eligible to run to become colonel, the rule from the 2004 Constitution of the Accompong Maroons says you have to be living in Accompong for 3 years and you have to be Maroon by birth. They're challenging that you have not been living in Accompong for 3 years, so that would make you ineligible to run to become colonel. What say you?
Let me set the record straight, because I heard this honorable, Mr. Tamika Taylor, who was dishonorable discharged from the Jamaica Defense Force, classifying herself as a Minister of National Security. The Akampong Council does not rise to the level of ministerial position. Ministerial position is what the government of Jamaica has. The Akampong have a council, and you have councilmen and councilwomen. If she wanted to rise to the rank of Minister of National Security, she should have kept her mouth shut and follow the chain of command. There's only one Minister of National Security in Jamaica, and that's Dr. Chang. The 2004 Constitution, which was drafted, has a lot of things in it that needed to be changed and fixed. But none of the colonels, none of the previous colonel, including ex-Colonel Richard Curry, did not recognize or impose or put into place that Constitution. So when Richard Curry took office, he did not run on a Constitution because it was not implemented. What he did was he went ahead and drafted his own Constitution, which no colonel or Kampong will be allowed to draft their own Constitution.
Ratified by whom?
And
ratified by whom? This new Constitution you say he drafted, who ratified it?
He himself ratified it.
Oh.
He himself ratified it after he got some pushback from some people when he presented his first draft. He got some pushback that no, we will not allow any colonel to write their own Constitution. The Constitution Committee was formed in 2003 leading up to the 2004. It was 11 members on the Constitutional Committee. Of those members, 5 has passed on, may the soul rest in peace. But the chairperson for the Constitutional Committee and the other remaining 5 members are still alive and well, still active in maroon business. They were not aware of this, what he called in ratification. This was something that he stayed on by his house, or his cousin's house that he is sheltering, and wrote, and then he go around to some communities and have people sign it. It wasn't done through a normal process. I also want to point out that the laws of Jamaica supersede any law that anyone can come up with in Jamaica.
Stick up in, Mr. W. Hold on, stick up in. You say not the normal process. For a constitution to be legitimate, of course, go through the prescribed steps and then be ratified. What are the prescribed steps? And of course, in saying that, you'll say what are the prescribed steps that Curry didn't take?
The prescribed step was to have consultation with the people in the community, have a vote on changes that need to be made, submitted to the Constitutional Committee, which is still in place, and then it would be passed down to the Council of Elders, because one should be in place, and all of those processes were not followed any at all. So even though some of the things that he tried to fix and change in this Constitution, they're all premature, as he liked to do premature things. They would say he put in the cards before the horse. He liked to come out with these brilliant ideas, and then they go to waste. And we are saying to him, let us sit at the table and start this process, get this election out of the way, and we can come together and put this Constitution that is badly needed together with the people's involvement, run it through a vote, and keep the necessary consultation and meetings that's required in order to have the people on board with this Constitution.
The original,
will not be alone.
Yeah, the real Constitution that you are leaning on, obviously. What does it say about residency and the eligibility for nomination for office based on residency?
it does have in it, but I am not enforcing that to be used because there are, knowing the community of a compound does not have any form of employment for someone who wanting to run to the office of colonel to live permanently in that community. A lot of the other candidates, myself and some elders in the community, we have recognized in that constitution that this clause where residents have to be permanently living in the community for 3 years was something that needed to be ratified in future and make some leeway. I am the only candidate that has built a house in a compound and is in the process of permanently returning to a compound. None of the other candidates, including Mr. Richard Curry, when he ran for colonel, he was only in the community for a couple months.
Yes.
He did not live in the community for 3 years.
Curry apart, which of the previous colonels who was clearly nominated and then were successful, which of them did not live in the community for the 3 years before the election?
Well, Mr. Williams did not permanently live in the community, but he have his parental house there, which he was the sole person that stayed at that residence when he was in a compound.
Right. So just to put a seal on it. So people have roots and strong roots, but people don't live permanently there because you're saying, I mean, there's no avenue for economic advance. Right.
Right.
And you're saying that you're saying it's not a new thing for people to have permanent roots there but not live there. So this can't be used against anybody wanting to be colonel, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And that's why my supporters and other members of the community, I have to sensitize them. Say, look, Richard Curry is an educated, qualified person to work out there in the field. So you could not have penalized him. I know a lot of people don't hear when I say that. But because we know that it's a situation and you have to live, you have to survive. There is no salary from Colonel's position. It's partially a voluntary service where they have you get some remuneration at the end of the 6th of January celebration and all those stuff. All those things need to be fixed in the Constitution and be well gazetted and voted on before it can be put into law. So there is no active constitution there right now for anyone to go by. And I have demonstrated that I have spent a lot of time in the community. I am making my permanent residence there, unlike Richard Curry, who at this time, I understand he's building somewhere in St. Catherine. Nowhere in a compound. You cannot be a sitting colonel and want to go back and you have not established not even a full could in the community. It's not acceptable.
Hear you on that, Sir W. We are out of time. I'm sure this is not the last we'll hear from you leading up to whenever the election is called. One small one before I go. So there really is no interregnum because it's not as if the previous leadership has been dissolved to pave a way for election with a date announced and so forth. So there's not a period between elections because the previous leadership is still in place. What does the Constitution say about the amount of time that a colonel can serve after the date for the election to be held has passed?
As we have indicated to Mr. Curry, the rest of candidates and myself, informing him that his tenure expires on February 18. And just like what he instigated against Mr. Williams, when Mr. Williams' time expired, they went and take off the lock of the building, they threw him out of the building, they take away all the paperwork. That could also be applied to Mr. Curry. I am holding train, I am holding my people back from doing the same thing to Mr. Curry because I don't want the trend to continue in a compound. Mr. Curry needs to meet us at the table if he so chooses to be a candidate in the next election, and then we can get the process started with the Electoral Office of Jamaica, the only recognized body that will conduct our election.
All right, sir. Hear you on that. Thank you for your time this morning. We'll talk again.
Thank you very much, George and Turner. Talk to you.
Katie and Wallace, you know, it's time to hear from Mr. Curry because, yeah, a lot of morass and we need to move it so that we can see the waterway clear.
Exactly.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:03.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Tuesday morning, Tuesday, March 17, 2026 in Portland. The Public Health Department is warning of an increase in fungal scalp infections among children in the parish. The department says 23 cases were reported in February, up from 10 in January. Medical Officer of Health for Portland, Dr. Sharon Lewis, provided the figures to the Portland Municipal Corporation last Thursday. Dr. Lewis says that the infection, known scientifically as tinea capitis, is highly contagious and common in children. It is characterized by itchy, scaly, bald patches and broken hairs. It is treated with both oral and topical medication. Dr. Lewis is urging parents to seek urgent medical attention for children presenting with rashes on their scalp to prevent the spread of the infection. In St. Mary, access to Ian Fleming International Airport in Boscobel will be restricted today, Tuesday, March 17. The Airports Authority of Jamaica says it will be conducting a full-scale emergency exercise between 12 noon and 4 p.m. The exercise is billed Aero 2026. It's a part of the airport's mandatory safety and preparedness program. It involves coordinated stimulation activities with key emergency response and security stakeholders. During the emergency exercise, members of the public who do not have critical business in or around the airport are advised to stay away. In St. Thomas, there is increased police presence at the major transportation spaces in Morant Bay, where students converge to get to and from school. The effort is the work of the St. Thomas Community Safety and Security Unit of the Constabulary Force. The initiative, dubbed Operation Nolinga, was launched in January with the aim of reducing fights by and among students, ensuring that students get to school safely and on time, and raising parents' awareness of the activities of their children in the busy town. The operation was conceptualized by Corporal Dwight Henry of the CSSU. Today, the operation has been meeting its objectives with a significant reduction in fights by students in the parish capital. The unit is appealing to parents to help the police in their mission by playing a more vigilant role in the lives of their children. And that's it for Across Jamaica.
Hi, I'm Kalila Enriquez Reynolds, and I know a thing or two about smart money moves. Hiring a real estate professional isn't just about houses. It's about hiring someone skilled, competent, and most importantly, licensed. Check with the real estate board before entering into an agreement with a dealer, salesman, or developer. Visit the search register at reb.gov.jm or call the board today at 926-9748-9.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall.
Up a Total Tools.
Weed whacker figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand.
Total Tools.
We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When you say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Jamaica! Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on March 20 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast from the University of the West Indies for World Water Day. This year's theme, Inclusivity and Equity, highlights the commitment to ensuring that every Jamaican has access to safe, reliable water. Representatives from Jamaica's major water agencies will be present to answer questions, share valuable information, and help you explore the many possibilities within the water industry. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online for World Water Day celebration, Inclusivity and Equity. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, or keep your station locked to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Water, Environment and Climate Change.
Attention all data protection enthusiasts. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM every Tuesday at 8:20 a.m. and Thursday at 8:25 a.m. for a new program, Data Protection Matters. Starting June 4, 2024, join us as we delve into crucial topics that will keep you informed and compliant. Data Protection Matters is hosted by Chuck Cameron, founder of Design Privacy, your trusted partner in data protection. Don't miss out. That's every Tuesday morning at 8:20 and every Thursday at 8:25 a.m. Stay protected, stay informed with Nationwide 90 FM and Design Privacy.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Cliff Says is by far the most popular mid-morning radio segment in Jamaica. Cliff Hughes shares his views on the hot-button topics of the day, editorializing on various issues in the news, breaking news stories, and expounding on stories. Cliff Says sets the tone of the show for the rest of the day. Join the award-winning journalist Cliff Hughes weekdays during Cliff Hughes Online at 10 to 10:30 a.m. Join the revolution in media.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. So, you guys should gear up to call because we have a giveaway on NTM this morning. So let me tell you our numbers before telling you what I'm giving away. So the numbers 876-630-9371 to 4. Again, 876-630-9371 to 4. And 618-6730. 618-6730. So I'm giving away 2 tickets to the match on Thursday. Mount Pleasant will clash with LA Galaxy in the return leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16 on Thursday. The match will kick off at 6 p.m. at the National Stadium. And I have 2 tickets to give away. So, the question I'm asking, which parish in Jamaica is home to the Mount Pleasant Football Academy? Which parish in Jamaica is home to the Mount Pleasant Football Academy? The numbers again. If you call, you get the answer correct. You'll walk away with 2 tickets to... Oh, and there's somebody on the line already. Good morning to you, Damien.
Hey, greetings, Donna.
Morning. What's your answer?
You repeat the question, please.
Sure. Which parish in Jamaica is home to the Mount Pleasant Football Academy?
St. Anne.
That is correct. Correcto. You are correct, Damien. So stay on the line. You've won for yourself 2 tickets to the National Stadium on Thursday at 6 p.m. For that match, Mount Pleasant will clash with LA Galaxy in the return leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16. Congratulations to ya.
Thank you.
All right, so that's Damien there. Won for himself 2 tickets. The answer is indeed St. Anne to the question, which parish in Jamaica is home to the Mount Pleasant Football Academy? So we take a break now and then come back with data protection.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:16.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is
27 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 26 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville it's 22 degrees Celsius.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media. Jamaica, tune in to Cliff Views Online on March 20 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast from the University of the West Indies for World Water Day. This year's theme, Inclusivity and Equity, highlights the commitment to ensuring that every Jamaican has access to safe, reliable water. Representatives from Jamaica's major water agencies will be present to answer questions, share valuable information, and help you explore the many possibilities within the water industry. So tune in to Cliff Views Online for World Water Day celebration, Inclusivity and Equity. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, or keep your station locked to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Water, Environment and Climate Change.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
One EU visitor, one online form, one dangerous assumption. Because the words GDPR doesn't apply to us may sound harmless, right up until they become very expensive. This is Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy, and I'm your host, Chuka Emeka Cameron. Let's talk about one of the most common and most dangerous assumptions in data protection. We're not based in Europe, so GDPR is not our problem. GDPR, that's a General Data Protection Regulations out of Europe, can apply based on what you do, not just where you sit. If you even have one EU customer, one EU website visitor who you track in certain ways, or one service aimed at people in the EU, the conversation changes. Now, that does not mean every business is automatically in scope for everything, but it does mean casual dismissal is risky. Territorial scope is broad, enforcement is increasing, ignorance is not a defense. And that last part matters. Regulators do not tend to accept we did not realize as a strategy. What makes this assumption so dangerous is that it sounds reassuring. It sounds efficient. It sounds like one less thing to worry about. But many privacy failures begin with the wrong assumptions upstream. Assumptions about scope, assumptions about data, assumptions about who is responsible, assumptions about whether a process is low risk when it is not. And when assumptions go untested, they turn into exposure. Then add this, regulatory guidance keeps evolving. This month's updates and guidance trends are shining a brighter light on 3 areas. First, AI and automated decisions. If a system makes or supports decisions about people, regulators want more transparency, stronger governance, and clearer accountability. Second, children's data handling. If minors use your service, the standard rises. Consent, design choices, notices and risk controls all come under closer attention. Third, cross-border transfers. Sending personal data from one country to another is not just a technical handoff. It has legal consequences. Safeguards matter. Documentation matters. So, if you are still relying on a privacy setup from 2 years ago, or even last year, there's a real chance it no longer matches today's expectations. And that mismatch is where trouble often starts. Not in dramatic misconduct, but in outdated processes, copied templates, incomplete data maps, vague accountability, and a general sense that we probably have this covered. Probably is not a control. Probably is not a lawful basis. Probably is not a risk mitigation strategy. And that brings us to the do-it-yourself route. A lot of organizations manage compliance with spreadsheets, reminders, maybe a few templates, and a lot of determination. And to be fair, that effort is real. But DIY data protection often costs more than people expect. Why? Because it can eat up 15 or more hours a week. Because updates get missed. Because when no specialist reviews the work, hidden vulnerabilities stay hidden. You think you're saving budget, but what you may actually be doing is paying in staff time. patchy coverage and risk that sits quietly in the background. Time leak, knowledge gap, false confidence. And one of the clearest warning signs in any DIY setup is this. The organization cannot easily explain which processing activities are high risk, why they are high risk, and what controls exist around them. That is when it becomes obvious that compliance activity is happening, but risk understanding is still missing. And that is exactly why I keep coming back to risk assessment. In fact, in our upcoming webinar, we are going to break this down in a very practical way through the lens of DPIAs, Data Protection Impact Assessments. Now, if that term sounds formal, do not let it intimidate you. At its core, a DPIA is simply a structured way to identify where higher risk processing could create problems for people and for your organization before those problems escalate. So instead of asking, does GDPR apply to us only after something has gone wrong, you begin asking better questions much earlier. Is this activity high risk? Could this processing cause harm? Are we collecting more than we need? Have we thought through the safeguards? Do we have a repeatable method, or are we still relying on assumptions? That is why DPIAs matter. They turn vague concern into clear analysis. They turn assumptions into evidence, and they help organizations move from "we think we are fine" to "we know where the risk is and we know what to do about it." Keep that in mind, because it is one of the most practical ways to close the gap between privacy theory and privacy action. So what is the alternative? For many businesses, the real decision is not whether to get privacy support. It is whether to build it in-house or outsource it. Here is a practical framework. Cost. Outsourced DPO support often delivers major savings compared with a full-time hire. Expertise depth. An outsourced provider usually brings experience across sectors, use cases, regulatory patterns, and recurring issues. Scalability. As your business grows, launches new services, enters new markets, or adopts AI tools, your support can scale with you. Now, in-house can make sense for some organizations, especially large, complex, highly regulated ones. But for many small to medium-sized businesses, outsource support gives them what they actually need: access to expertise without carrying the full-time overhead. And somewhere in the middle of making that decision, it helps to focus on one very practical capability. Can your organization consistently identify and assess privacy risk before it becomes operational pain? Because that question cuts through a lot of noise very quickly. So let's land this. Do not assume GDPR stops at geography. Do not assume old guidance still covers new risks. Do not assume DIY is cheap just because no invoice arrives. Check your scope, check your gaps, check your support model. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the best ways to replace assumption with method is to learn how to assess risk properly. That is why our next webinar is titled Conducting Effective DPIA. Identify and manage data protection risks before they become incidents. Whether you are starting your privacy program or strengthening an existing framework, this session will provide clear, actionable guidance you can apply immediately. We will walk you through how to identify high-risk data processing activities before they become compliance issues. This webinar is for business leaders responsible for risk and governance, compliance, privacy and data protection professionals, IT and security leaders managing data risks, and companies preparing for improving your data protection compliance posture. If you want practical tools you can apply immediately at designprivacy.io. I'm Chukwuemeka Cameron, and this has been Data Protection Matters. Until next time, stay safe.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Every day, Rosie has a glass of fruit drink with breakfast, an energy drink on the way to work, a flavored water with lunch, and 2 glasses of soda with dinner, which adds up to more than 50 teaspoons of sugar a day. And all that extra sugar could bring on obesity. Are we drinking ourselves sick? 71% of Jamaicans support a tax on sugary drinks. Help tackle obesity and protect our children's future. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica.
Over a month ago, we invited you to be a part of something special, something different. And you know what? Over 500 of you said, all right, we're in. That means over 500 of you decided to move from just being a listener to being a part of the family. The Nationwide Family Club isn't just an idea anymore. It's real, it's growing, and it feels good.
And because family looks out for family, for the entire month of March, we're doing something extra. Every single week, one family club member will win a $25,000 supermarket voucher. That's 4 winners, 4 weeks, 4 real chances. Because when you stick with us, we believe you should feel it. Loyalty shouldn't just be appreciated, it should feel rewarded.
The Nationwide Family Club is where you, our listeners, come closer. Not just hearing the stories, but seeing how they're made. Not just listening to the voices, but connecting with the people behind them. In the Family Club, you get early access to documentaries, exclusive content on air, member-only conversations, birthday shout-outs, breaking news alerts, and depending on your tier, studio experiences and private live streams. That's not just regular radio, that's family access.
This isn't just a subscription, it's connection, it's community, it's saying, I support what you do, and I want to be closer to it. More content, more interactions, more behind the scenes, and no, more chances to win.
And if you've been watching from the sidelines, we've been saving a seat for you. Join today. Be a part of the first 1,000 family members. And this March, you could be one of 4 people walking away with a $25,000 supermarket voucher. Go to patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. The Nationwide Family Club. Closer than radio, stronger than ever, and growing with you, our family.
From the world to Jamaica, CFL delivers. Global reach, Caribbean reliability. Call 876-320-2263 or visit shipcfl.com. The time by CFL Jamaica is
8:30. Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. World Down Syndrome Day is observed globally on March 21 each year to raise awareness and advocate for the rights, inclusion and well-being of persons with Down syndrome. In Jamaica, the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation, JDSF, hosts activities to promote awareness, education and support for individuals with Down syndrome and their families. For more on the activities to mark World Down Syndrome Day, I'm being joined by the Executive Director of Projects at the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation, Nadine Tarawali. Good morning, Nadine.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am good, and how are you?
Well, I am great.
Excellent. First question, the significance of World Down Syndrome Day and why it matters locally and globally.
So, basically, significance of World Down Syndrome Day is to support persons with Down syndrome. So it is basically to spread awareness, inclusion and acceptance for persons with Down syndrome, because there's a stigma associated with persons with Down syndrome that they aren't able to do certain things, and that is totally obnoxious. They are, once they're given the opportunity, once there's early intervention, both medically and educationally. And then, as you asked, March 21st, why the significance? Because Down syndrome is actually caused by the triplication, which is number 3, that stands for the 3rd month in the year, of a particular chromosome, and that chromosome is chromosome 21. We all have it, But persons with Down syndrome have an extra copy. That's what makes them extra special. And that's why the significance is March 21st.
Are we seeing an increase in the number of babies born with Down syndrome in the last, say, 15 years, Nadine?
Well, the thing with Down syndrome is that you actually, as women age, the percentage, there's a higher chance of you having a baby with Down syndrome. So it is not a disease, it's genetically, it's a chromosomal disorder. And in the last, I would say, 15 years, yes, there may have become an increase because you tend to have more older women having children. So there is a higher chance that as you go beyond 35, there are the chances that you can have a child with Down syndrome. But there are also many tests that you can actually do in order to get that information on if you are going to have a child with Down syndrome or not.
Mm-hmm. And I remember, well, way back in the day when I was reading about certain situations and the term mongoloid was used to describe a certain kind of person. That has changed and Down syndrome is now the applicable descriptor. Beyond that change, what has been the most significant shift in the lot of persons who have Down syndrome, apart from that, the abandonment of that unfortunate descriptor?
And I think that descriptor basically came from their characteristics, their features, because persons with Down syndrome have specific features. So they tend to have a rounded face, they tend to have almond eyes, they're a little slit, a small nose, small ears, and very short, stubby fingers. And so therefore that is where that description came from. But with awareness over the years, and especially in Jamaica with the foundation, pushing awareness, having persons understand what Down syndrome is, presenting the challenges that are associated with persons with Down syndrome, how the public can actually accept persons with Down syndrome, and also trying to advocate for early intervention through private and public sectors, and also trying to educate the public that we actually have persons who have Down syndrome who are working and living fulfilling lives just like you and I. But it all comes down to awareness, public awareness, and letting persons know that Down syndrome is a condition, but it's not a limitation.
Mm-hmm. Is a person with Down syndrome more likely than a person who does not have the condition to have offspring that have Down syndrome?
Yes, there is a chance, and this is just genetics, and that is why there is almost a 25% chance that somebody with Down syndrome, if that person marries somebody else who doesn't have Down syndrome, based on chromosome interaction, there is that 25% chance that you may have a child with Down syndrome. But then there is also the rest of the percentage that you may not have a child. There is one particular person, I think he is in Italy, and he has Down syndrome, and he married somebody that didn't have Down syndrome, and they had a son who doesn't have Down syndrome, and that son today is a medical doctor who is extremely proud of his father who has Down syndrome.
Tell me about the Lots of Socks campaign now and how it fits into activities to mark Down Syndrome Day.
Okay, so the Lots of Socks campaign, as it is, it's wearing your crazy, fun, mix-match socks. And with the foundation, we actually have socks that have Down syndrome paraphernalia on it, the chromosomes, the words Down syndrome. And this is a conversation starter. Because when you wear very vibrant socks and people can actually see them, the first thing people say is, well, why are you wearing those socks? And people normally ask, why socks? Why not a hat? Why not a T-shirt? Because chromosome 21, actually under the microscope, looks like a pair of socks. And so that's where the whole campaign started, Lots of Socks. And we at the foundation, we are basically encouraging, it's global, but here in Jamaica, we're encouraging private sectors, public sectors, schools, workplaces, business places to come out in their socks on the 20th, simply because the 21st falls on a Saturday. So come out with your socks, get the conversation going, educate persons about Down syndrome if it is that persons don't know. And we encourage persons to take pictures, do their reels, and of course tag us So you can either tag us on IG by hashtag JA Down Syndrome, or you can send us your videos and your pictures by sending an email to admin@downsyndromejamaica.com.
This year's theme, Together Against Loneliness, must be a particular reason why you picked that. Why?
Because generally as human beings, we do get lonely. So imagine the challenges that face persons with Down syndrome. For us, we go to high school, we go to university, then we do postgraduate, we do all these different things. But with persons with Down syndrome, not that they can't be pushed if given the opportunity, but here in Jamaica, after a certain level, high school, maybe 18, 21, then there's a stagnation. There is no more that they can do. We have a limitation of workplaces that employ them. So they're not interacting with their friends. They're not going to school. They don't have a job. And that can cause loneliness. And so that's a challenge in the Down syndrome world. And therefore, we're trying to push it. We're trying to encourage the wider society to say, listen, we can't be lonely. And if we can fight it together, especially for persons with Down syndrome.
Excellent. Well, is there a portal you have that the public can channel support through for the work of your organization?
Yes. So actually, we do have an office, the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation. It's located on 1 Stanton Terrace, Unit 9. And you can actually go there if you want to physically donate, because the foundation is a non-profit organization. All the 9 members have 9-to-5 jobs, and we do find time to make it work for the foundation. So you can feel free to write a check, go to 1 Stanton Terrace, Unit 9, drop off the check or drop off cash donation, or we actually have an account at NCB Oxford branch, and you can actually do a wire transfer. And that wire transfer, you can visit our website, jamaicadownsyndrome.com, and on the website, you'll actually see the banking information, and you can do a direct donate on the website, or if you don't choose to do that, then you can just go on your portal and do a transfer from your account to our NCB account.
Mm-hmm. I want you lastly, Nadine, to encourage persons to participate in the activities this year to mark World Down Syndrome Day.
So this is a big shout out to Jamaica, to everybody, asking you to all come out. Come out in your socks, and if you don't have socks, please come and check the foundation. We have socks for sale. They're only $800. So come and get your socks because they're running out quickly. But make an impact and make a positive impact on persons with Down syndrome this year. Spread the love, spread the awareness, and spread the inclusion. Big up yourself, everybody, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you out on the 20th on Friday to support World Down Syndrome Day, which is officially on March 21st.
And Nadine, I must confess, I wear mismatched socks every day.
Oh, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, I am expecting you to send a picture.
Oh yes,
Since
you don't have to ask.
Yes?
You don't have to ask.
Okay, good. Good, because I'm looking out for your picture. The mere fact you wear it every day.
Every day.
Make it extra special on Friday and send that picture so that we can big you up on our Instagram.
Will do. Thank you very much, and all the best to you, all right?
Thank you so much. Take care.
Good. Executive Director of Projects at the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation, Nadine Tarawali. Yeah, man, wear a pair of mismatched socks on Friday. Contribute to the cause and go down there and buy some socks. $800 a pair. Spend our money with them, man. And be kind to persons with Down syndrome. There are people just like us. Yeah? People just like us. And there are so many families which have been touched with having family members who are live with the condition Down syndrome. And, excess copious amounts of kindness are needed and understanding, and then you treat them as you do all of that. As you be kind, as you understand, you treat them as regular people.
Decorate like a designer with BH Paints. The time brought to you by BH Paints is
8:43.
So much more than my love. I can see beyond forever. Everything we are will never die. Love is such a beautiful thing. Oh, you make my world a summer day. Are you just a dream?
Such man thinks they have more fans than we know. You understand? I want the Mia if you know say. You don't have more fans than we know. And you could have bring the whole constituency. You understand? We can borrow from some other constituencies and swallow up the crowd there. Simone a double agent. Simone a double agent. Yeah, man. Damien, yeah, man. Damien is not to be trusted. You understand? Damien Cunningham, not to be trusted. Yeah, man. When I walk into the office and Simone pass, I turn my back in and just look on her in her face and just, make sure, God, you can't trust Simone.
She looked for me yesterday and with a smirk and she said something like, Miss Tana.
Miss Tani. No, sir. Yeah, we need to put a stoppage to Simone.
Mr. Awa, my rival.
See, it's a civil war already because the YouTubers, we're going to know who are stand with we and who are stand with Desmond. Because guess what? You can't vote, you know. The subsets can't intersect in the Venn diagram, you know. It's either we or Desmond. So no pick on the side. We need to see a declaration in the YouTube chat and on the people listening and calling in.
Yeah.
We need to know where we understand because we don't want no double agent, nobody with no insight. We don't want no half of this, half of that. You understand? We don't want a centaur. You're either a man or you're a horse, okay?
Yeah.
For so long, you and me been finding each other for so long.
June!
And the feeling that I feel for you is more than stronger. Take it from me. If you give a little more than you're asking for, your love will turn the key. Darling, mine, I would wait forever for those lips of wine.
King, you see my baby Sunday daytime, and him telling us I'm buy a record give, you know. Me use NTM resources and buy a record give this man so he can play on Sunday. And the man come, the man beat with every week. And him not talk them story and tell the public, you know. Say we buy a record give, you know. Man call the man Zero King. Oh, eh? Oh, it's harder. Make Jeremy a ball, eh? So, you know what now? So the YouTubers are declare now King. Yeah? So, you see all of who turn out, we're going to take a list. You see all of who say them support Desmond, we're going to block them from that chat. We're going to talk on Sunday. No, go on. We don't want to hear. Go! All who not with we? Yeah, we don't know about that coming about it time. We'll go on a Sunday daytime from 1 to 6 or 7 or 8. Make him play tune phone, okay?
Hey,
good.
Lisa say, I won't be on a boat, I'll be on a yacht or a ship then. Yeah.
No go on, man, no go on. Pack up and go. Okay, you say, pack your bags and go.
Oh, I said, do it now? Do it.
Alright, trick me and see. You're waiting to come out here this morning.
Oh my goodness.
You wonder where I've been.
Judy Cheap, Brigham Bobo. Hello, take my name. One this man will say you can't run me. Judith, you see you?
Judith, are you an alien?
Make she stay there, man. Make she stay there. Me as we say as 9 o'clock comes so. Block.
What is wrong with me? Well, I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go.
King, them say if you drop fire and desire. Them want Rick James and Smokey Robinson. Yeah, man, find it, no?
What you won't do.
Them ask for fire and desire. Rick James and Smokey Robinson in that morning again. Why not?
Everything, but you don't give up. In my world,
Listen. The Tivoli people them come out in the chat.
Hello.
Say, listen, I live in the area So I have to support Desmond.
Really no. When you meet me at Coronation Market, sat there meet me by railway over there for the thing could have bad. You understand? Me out of face down. Okay?
There are people that come out.
You cannot be with us and with Desmond at the same time. You never pick a side. Pick a side.
And I can't let go.
King, as a matter of fact, to show you our bad mind, we don't want to turntable anymore where we work about it. Desmond must pack up in turntable and him mic and him desk and everything. He must pack them up and carry them go somewhere. Allow us to work in the studio. Clear. Okay? We don't want him in here. I can't believe they might have a permit if we have permit to keep partying.
Always got our permit.
So, yeah, that's that. Anyway, play the tune.
I guess life must be treating you well. Oh, me? Well, I've just been doing the same old thing I've always been doing. You know, I've got a new lady now, and it's a little different than it was when I was with you. You know, I think back to when we met, the way I used to be and that cold way I used to act. But more than that, I think of how you changed me with your love and sensitivity. Remember when I used to love them and leave them. That's what I used to do. Use and abuse them. Then I laid eyes on you. It was pain before pleasure. That was my claim to fame. With every measure, baby.
I wonder if tools are to sell black. They're gonna buy a black food. Hold on.
Oh my God.
I was cold as ice long ago, baby.
I'm going to ABC Electrical. I'm going to get some equipment for short circuit to hold on. Yeah, man. I know Mr. Foster and Fast Rich. Yeah, man. Me on.
Oh my goodness. Listen. Before the time gets away from us, we have to tell our folks a happy birthday. So, I'm seeing here S. Marshall sending happiest of birthday greetings to a friend, William Price. So, happy birthday to you, William Price, from your friend S. Marshall. And S. Marshall also sending belated birthday greetings to Miss McCarthy Spencer. So happy birthday to you, Miss McCarthy Spencer. It's your birthday well, it was your birthday. So belated happy birthday greetings to you from S. Marshall. And Diana Dobb sending happy birthday greetings to her husband, Patrick Shaw. Lots of love and blessings to you, Patrick Shaw. Happy birthday to you from your lovely wife, Diana, in the YouTube chat. Also seeing here our friends on Facebook, Mark Stevenson, Arlene De Castro, and Anna Keholas. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a great day. This one says, happy birthday greetings going out to Mrs. Alessandra Rod, aka 7-Star in Miami, Florida. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Rod. Greetings are coming from your sister Cindy as well as Corpy. So happy birthday to you. And happy birthday greetings going out to Sergeant Avian McNabb in Hanover, DSP Jackie Brown in Kingston, retired firefighter Neri Allen in Sav, Courtney Wallace in Kingston, Damian Lewis in Sav. Happy birthday to all of you. And these greetings are coming from Sergeant Wayne Wallace.
George Walters in the chat says, belated happy birthday greetings to Tony and Joseph, who celebrated her birthday last Saturday, March 14. Tony and Joseph, belated birthday greetings to you, coming from George Walters. Pam Lodge in Olive Park in St. Elizabeth says, happy birthday to my pretty sister Patricia Thompson from Glencoe Housing Scheme, just next door in Santa Cruz. God bless you, Pat. So Patricia Thompson,
Glencoe Housing Scheme in Santa Cruz. Your sister, Pamela Lodge, next door in Olive Park, says, happy birthday to you, pretty lady. Jaja says, happy birthday to Fiona at KPH. Coming from the one man. Oh, you mean Jaja? Jaja said the one man is saying happy birthday to Fiona at KPH. Fiona, enjoy the day. One man, aka Jaja, sending the greetings to you. Mr. Savage says birthday wishes to Mom, Miss Lorna Rowe, who celebrated her special day today, or celebrates her special day today. Greetings are from sons Richard, Michael, Rupert, Kaz, daughter Florence, and daughter-in-law Heather, also wishing her good health. Sir Lorna Rowe, your sons and your daughters, your family, all of them, Richard, Michael, Rupert, Kaz, your daughter Florence, and your daughter-in-law Heather, wishing you good health and wishing you a happy birthday.
Loving you
You look like Marcia Favor move on. Blessed Marcia Favor says, goodbye, my former husband George. I got to go look for the good body doctor at Maypen Hospital.
Whoa.
Go on, Marcia. Go on.
Whoa.
And guess what now? I don't know what I've done, but apparently I've broken your heart, but them can't fix heart at Maypen Hospital, so go on. Go on, Marcia. God go with you. It was good while it lasted. And don't worry about it, Marcia. There are plenty more to replace you.
Whoa, Marcia, whoa. How do you clap back to that one? It's mixed.
Let's not get the love this morning. No, sir. Horatio JM says, happy birthday to my mom, Delpha Williamson. God's richest blessings be upon you. So Delpha Williamson, your son Horatio, saying, Mom, God's richest blessings be upon you on this your birthday. O'Shane says, a special happy birthday to my firstborn, O'Shane Townsend. Greetings coming from your dad, Lawrence, in the UK. So Lawrence, they're England, and he must send birthday greetings to his son, O'Shane Townsend, his firstborn. All the best to you coming from Daddy. Vivacious Verlene Hall Smith says, belated birthday greetings to Jaden Champagne from Rose Hall District, West Rural St. Andrew. Enough blessings to you in this new year of your life. Wishing you joy, strength, and continued success. Jaden Champagne, Rose Hall District, West Rural St. Andrew. Vivacious Verlene Hall Smith sending birthday greetings to ya. Jem Conn says, please send belated birthday to my sister Lorraine Cunningham Merchant, coming from her baby sister in Toronto, Canada. Lorraine Cunningham Merchant, your baby sister in Toronto, Canada, sending birthday greetings to you. Becca Grant says, George and Tawna, please wish my late father happy birthday. We recently lost him. Happy birthday to Daddy Grant. Daddy Grant, in spirit, they're sending birthday greetings to you, sir. Even though you're gone, that's how much they love you. All right? Yeah. See, Delia run out and said, George, nah, left you. Thank you, Delia. Marcia, you can go on, mum. Go on. Pack your bags and go.
You know, so Marcia not go away.
Go away. Me go home with Marcia later. Somebody say one days, man. I buy a block for Kingsley. Kingsley, all a block, my father. All a block.
Double say.
Whippo.
Really, Herman?
Of all people.
Wait there.
But guess what now? King, we can't block Herman because we want the US. I want barrel too. Hold on then. Blessed Marcia Favor again says, George, on a serious note, please extend condolences to Cheryl Wallace. Her husband died yesterday. So yes, one of our YouTube family members, Cheryl Wallace, lost her husband on Monday. Condolences to you, Cheryl, and we wish you strength in this difficult time. All right?
Yeah, sending you much love.
Yes. At time for going now.
Right.
I'm going to buy a block. Hurry up, I need to go hard work. Go buy a block this morning.
Thank you so much for tuning into NTM Nationwide this morning, the big show. Thanks so much to our technical operator, the musical maestro, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCurry Smith, and our super editor, Kimon Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tawna.
And me, my dear's man, worst nightmare.
Good morning.
I look in your eyes and I can see you love so dangerously. You're not trusting your heart.
You just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Tell me you're gonna play it smart. We're through before we start, but I believe that we've only just begun.
Nationwide 90 FM.